country vicar had been constipated for weeks, and he was walking across the woods one day, and his stomach rolled, and he realised that he needed to have a crap as soon as possible, you see. So he looked around. He said, well, the Lord has provided these woods. I think I will empty my bowels behind that hedge. See? So anyway, he goes behind the hedge and he drops his trousers. And the other side of the hedge, unbeknown to him, are two poachers. And one poacher whispers to the other one. He says, oh, I think that's the old vicar, isn't it? He says, well, I think it is. I think he's having a crap. I know. Let's play a trick on him. So what they do, they put a shovel under the hedge, underneath the vicar, collect what he does, and then slide that away, and then they slide another shovel full of rabbit innards in its place, you see. So anyway, time goes on, and later on that day, they're all in the pub, and the vicar walks in, and why is a she? And they said, you all right, vicar? And the vicar said, oh, he said, the Lord played a trick on me today. He said, I was in the woods, and I needed to go to the bathroom, and for exposing my buttocks to the woods and the animals there, my intestines fell out. But I was very lucky. I managed to push them all back in again. Yes, that was the disgusting, constipated vicar gag. And the reason I've put it on is because I run out of time to do a gag today.
I was watching the timer go down and thinking he's never going to get that finished. But
well, the other ones are the better ones, but I have got a Morecambe and Wise gag, which they never hit the punchline on, but I do know what the punchline is because I got it from my uncle. So there we go. Now, tonight we've got Nathan Lucis, Shill something or other. Hello, Shill something or other.
hello.
And you notice I've blurred out the back of me because I didn't do this on the last show, and I actually showed my ironing table. And I don't really want to cause ironing table envy. The Fogham ironing table is very special. It's got an old sock wrap round the leg of it, so when I prop it against the wall, it doesn't mark the wall. Because people say, what is it? Is it gym equipment? I could have said, yes, it's very posh gym equipment. No, it's a bloody ironing table, look, you know.
You had to go for the West Midlands accent there, didn't you?
Oh, yes. Anyway, how's Nathan? Are you...
Nathan's a bit shook at the minute because I might have accidentally had a bit of a snooze, and I woke up and I'm just like, whoa, hello. Well, all right. I'll give me 10 minutes.
I fell off to sleep. Oh, that's good. Cause I fall off to sleep sometimes in the afternoon, but I just put that up to the age or something.
Well, I'll tell you, mate, it's a funny one because I haven't fell asleep. I've not had a nap in about 4 years. I've not been able to sleep during the day. And I just about an hour ago just came out. I was just knackered. I thought, I've got to lay down for a bit. So anyway, there we go. That's new.
Well, that's good. We got some serious complaints in the chat room, of course, because
obviously,
because we got not the vicar joke, and Patrick says the constipated vicar. Yes, I'll have to make up for that because I only had it on another couple of weeks ago. So Morecambe and Wise used to end their show with the gag, two old men sitting in deck chairs. And one says to the other one, nice out, isn't it? And they'd end the show at that point because Ernie Wise would always say, you can't say that gag, it's disgusting. And off it would go. So nobody knew the punchline of that gag. But I got it from my uncle, who was a comedian. And it goes, two old men sitting in deck chairs. One says to the other one, nice out, isn't it? And the other one says, yes, I think I'll get my one out as well. So that's the two old men. That's a problem. That is... People have been mystified by that for years, and now Morecambe and Wise are dead. I thought they would never know, and now I've revealed the truth of that. And it wasn't really worth it after all, was it? It was a bit of a crappy gag, and so yeah.
Well, yeah.
So there we go.
It was a bit short then. I'm thinking, okay. Anyway,
yeah. on with the show. Now we should have had Deb with us, but unfortunately, Deb has she's I think she's strained a muscle or something like that in her leg, because you know that she's Superwoman. She fights crime in the evening, and I think she was. She went out last night, you see, and she was fighting crime in the city, and twisted her muscle. So there we go. But joking aside, no, she's a bit Tom and Dick, and it's really quite painful. And I suggested magnesium. And if Miles is listening, he could give some advice, couldn't he? Miles, cooey. And I've usually found when I've done anything like that, I usually put a very hot water bottle on where I've got the muscle problem or cramp, or well, not cramp, but anything where, you know, I had a bad back once, and the only thing that sorted it out, I tried deep heat and everything, was a bloody hot water bottle that was so hot it was almost tearing your skin off, and you've got to make it that hot, and it worked.
That hot, like, I mean, that's a bit.
Now, coming in a bit choppy over at Radio Soapbox. Oh, sorry about that, mate. Oh, I don't know about what I do about that.
Shout with the internet. That'll fix everything.
Yes. I turned the microphone up. I don't know quite what's going on because, of course, we're on Radio Windmiller, and we're also on Soapbox Radio as well. So I'll just have a quick look at the settings. No, everything seems to be okay. I'm sorry, mate. Any suggestions, please? I'll be welcome. But everything seems to be coming over clear on StreamYard.
Is my audio okay? I mean, it seems to be coming through okay.
Sounds fantastic.
All right. So,
anyway, we'll carry on, and if there's any problems, I'm sure they'll get back to us.
Do you know what it could be, mate?
What's that?
Whenever I come onto your YouTube show, I do it through Microsoft Edge, and I've come through Firefox. I'm wondering if that's got something to do with it.
I don't know. Actually, is it? I don't know whether it's. I'll see if I can do something with your sound first.
All right.
It sounds all right here. Yeah.
If it's still a bit choppy, I'll come out of Firefox and I'll relaunch it through Edge, because that generally does the trick.
Well, hang on. What I'll do is I'll just adjust your mic level up a little bit and see how that works. How's that? I think that might be better. Better now.
Okay.
So there we go. Now, before we start, we've got to do some tinkly music for Deb. Wish her better. And so we're not going to find the bleeding tinkly music. That'll be a bit. Oh, here we are. So here we go then. Tinkly music. Wishing Deb a whole lot better. Here we are.
I like that one.
It's nice, isn't it? And there we go. You see, there's our bit of healing music there. And also, the first one in chat was Paul this week. And now Shelley says, sounding fine on Soapbox to me. So we should be okay. Okay. And I don't know what Windmiller is like. So there we go. Now, the first one was Paul. And as he was first on, he had the choice of giving a two-finger salute to any celebrity or politician of his choice. And he has kindly said that he will donate that to the next person on, who was Sue Sparkle. So, Sue, you have a free choice of any politician or celebrity that you would want to have a raspberry and two-finger salute to. So there we go. So, make a wise choice, please, and we will do it with absolute pleasure. So there it is. Now, on with tonight's show, Nice Syndrome. Now, Nice Syndrome, let's put it this way. There are users and givers in this world. And if you're more of a sensitive person, you'll be more of the type to volunteer to do things, to help people. You like to help people. And first of all, I was going to get into, because you've written a fantastic book. I don't know what it's called. And I don't really give adverts on this show very much.
Of course
so
not.
no placements no placement. Well, they call it product placement at all here,
Absolutely
is
not.
there?
Absolutely not. No.
None whatsoever. And of course, I really will not sort of do this. I mean, people ask me to do product placement. I won't. You notice I've got my finger over a certain area where the handle
I
fell
did
off.
realise that. Yeah.
Yes, I won't mention anything about the handle falling off because it will stop people getting the mugs, won't it? So I've decided not
Well,
to mention a word of it.
I mean, I've got two of them, and I've not had any problems. I mean, just saying quality, quality assessment
You're,
findings. Just
I think it was bad usage on my part. I think that.
yeah. Well, it's just you and Steve keep, throwing them around in the dishwasher or something. So it's not.
But I erudited the bastard, so there we go. So it won't fall off now. Nice drop. Well, it kept mosquito planes flying in World War II, so it can stick a bleeding mug handle on. So there we go. So anyway, on with the show. Nice person syndrome. There's a lot of people on the internet been talking about this nice person syndrome. And I know that with your book, which I've just haven't mentioned but did a product placement of, you go into the way people have actually been basically brainwashed, and how, and I believe there are demons. I really do believe that. I've seen people being taken over by demons, and there's one aspect that is overlooked. People talk about narcissists, psychopaths, but then there are three other. Now, there are people that are alcoholics. Now, they've got a problem, they've got a weakness, because generally, when there's something in life they can't face, drink is their mother. They go to it. Then you've got the secret alcoholics, who they will have a little tipple in and I've worked with them. You see them with their little drawer at the side, and they've got a tot of whiskey, and there's one bloke I work with who's knocking it back all bloody day. But then you've got what I call the boozers, and the boozers are the most dangerous of the lot, because they can drink and drink and drink and drink and drink, and they'll be as sober as anything. No slurring of the words, absolutely sober. But my theory, and this is my theory, because I've actually had 3 encounters with boozers, and each one has been horrendous. And it's not the person, because when they say when the drink is in, the wits are out. But Mark Windows once said that there was someone who had actually died, and on the operating table, and went up through the roof and went past a public house. And in there, and then he saw a load of demons queuing up, waiting for people to get drunk. And then suddenly, bang, he was thrust back into his body when they restarted his heart.
Right.
Now, whether you believe that's phooey or not, whether you believe it or not, I do believe there are evils as well as good, because if you wake up and think something bad's going to happen to you, it will. If you wake up and think something good's going to happen to you, it will.
I don't agree with you on that bit, but I will add a little bit of context to what you said. I mean, there's a lot of the idea that they call them spirits, right? I mean, this goes back to the idea that when you're under the influence of sort of like intoxicating liquors and stuff like that, that you're opening your I don't know, portals. I don't know what the correct terminology would be for this, but you're opening yourself up to, again, spirits, demons, other entities or whatever, and so it's said that they come in through that, which is why your personality changes. Again, this is just what I've heard, through years of research. It's just bits you pick up. The other thing that I did find interesting with regards to this was during like conception, which is, when you have like problem children, sort of like, take any number of definitions for that. Well, apparently, if you are, am I using the right word here? I still put half asleep. If you are under the influence, under some kind of drugs, if you're angry at the time that occurs, apparently you are opening up a whole, kind of gateway, if you like, for things to come into that vessel as it's being, created. So again, whether there's any truth in that, I don't know, but it's certainly interesting to, I'm not a fan of alcohol, to be honest, mate. It's one of those things
Nor
I could
I.
do without, but probably because I
Now,
get pissed too easy. So
well, I've only got to. I mean, I'll be straight with you. I mean, I was brought up in a non-alcohol family because my grandfather, on my father's side, signed the drinking pledge, which they used to do in the Victorian or Edwardian days, because alcohol was a big problem in those days. And apparently, my grandfather's father was a drunkard and would come home and beat him up and beat his mother up, and he had a terrible childhood, horrendous childhood. So he swore never to drink, and because he never drunk, my father never drunk, and because my father never drunk, I never drunk. Although I'll be very straight with you, I like the occasional half a Guinness, and that's about it, a tin of Guinness. I also like sweet cider, little drop, but that's it. I'll only have half, and that's it. I won't any more. Any more than that, I'll be because it affects me very quickly because I'm not used to it. That's the thing. So if I drink a Guinness, it'll be in the evening when I can sleep it, but it'll only be one tin, and that would be it. But my theory is that the three boozers that I've actually encountered, what they do is that, well, number one, they are the nicest people you could wish to meet. The really nicest people. But there's a dark side to them that you never know about. That there's a dark side because there's something they keep secret. But you don't know what it is. There's always the dark side. You think, it's strange. And the other thing they do is in public, and I call it the bewitched syndrome. And what that is, I don't know if you remember the show Bewitched.
Yeah, I remember
where this elderly lady would look out of her window and say, "Oh look, there's a woman floating around the room," and her husband say, "Oh, hang on a minute." And by the time he got up and looked, everything was fine. "Yes, dear, you're okay, dear." And he thought she was bonkers because he always missed what was going on. The poor woman, she's tried. Now, what they do, they're very skillful, and I think what they try and do, they try and create a form of evil that will let something evil into you. And one of their techniques is they'll pick on someone that's, say, scrupulous, or tries to, they'll pick on someone that's a little bit sensitive. There's a certain personality they switch on to. And I think my grandfather on my mother's side, who wasn't the one that didn't drink, he had actually encountered this because he was a very hypersensitive person. He suffered from nerves. And he, I think, because he tried to warn me about a lot of things, very, very, unfortunately, on my dad's side, my grandfather on my dad's side died a couple of years before I was born, so I never saw him. But on my granddad's side, he died when I was 15, so I spent quite a time with him in my younger days, and they were both very, very wise people, very wise. And one of the things he said to me was, look out for the infiltrators. That was his pet saying.
Interesting.
Look out for the infiltrators. And another one is he had no time for drinkers and boozers, because I think he come up against something with a boozer, because my mother, before she met my dad, dated a bloke who was a bit the old, but he was an alcoholic, I think. And my granddad took her to one side and said, "Look," he said, "this man will do you no good, and he will bring evil to the family. Get rid of him. Get him out of the family."
Curious.
I know you'll be heartbroken and all that. But what they do, they will gaslight you, and then they will take what you've said out of context to make it look as if you're a really nasty person. And I've had this done to me 3 times.
Right.
By a boozer.
Okay.
And it's every time by a boozer, and it's the same acting. And the more you try and prove your innocence of what you said, the more you're like a fly in a spider's web, getting more and more and more and more deep down, because people won't believe you. And you get, oh, surely not. Oh, no, never. That's what you get.
Can I draw you back to what you said there, the infiltrators? Because that's kind of piqued my interest there. So okay, I knew a lass about 3 or 4 years back, and she mentioned something similar to this, and she called it the switch. She said that when like say if you're trying to, I don't know, tell somebody something important, like let's say what's been going on the last 4 years perhaps, but they're not switched on, they're not awake, whatever you want to call it. She referred to it as the switch, where it would just be something else that just go kind of take over instantly. And it just, when you mentioned the infiltrators there, it's like, I mean, obviously we've got a different understanding of the word infiltrator, so it's just curious. I mean, is that what he meant by that? It's sort of like demons or other.
Well, no. What you see, what happened with him? I mean, my granddad was born in the Victorian times, and he went through the national strike, and he was a firm supporter of the Labour Party. Now, the Labour Party that was formed in 1907 is very, very different to the Labour Party of today and Blair's Labour Party. I mean, my granddad must be turning in his grave. I mean, my granddad served soup to the Jarrow marchers I think it was in the 30s. But he saw the Labour Party being infiltrated. And it was infiltrated as early as the 1920s and 1930s. He witnessed it. And that's why he said, the Labour Party, when it started in 1907, and he would have been in his teens then, I think he joined it then, wasn't really so much to do with socialism, believe it or not. It was very different.
Yeah, I mean, I suspect pretty much everyone in the chat will know this by now, especially over the last 10 years, but the Labour Party, wasn't it? Which has got the motto of a wolf in sheep's clothing, not the motto, it's like a logo of a wolf in sheep's clothing. Kind of like, I think the wolf's just revealed itself in the last couple of years, don't you?
It has. Yes.
And it's definitely it's about as undemocratic as it's possible to get at the minute. And I've got to watch what I'm saying, because here in the lovely UK, we can get arrested for saying stuff now. Yay!
That's right. But we'll be, if we're put in a cell next to each other, we can have a good laugh, can't we? Look on the bright
don't
side.
Think that happened to you.
In the gulag, because was that bloke?
Thank you, Fabian Society. Thank you.
That's it. Yes, because there's a picture of Tony Blair next to that window in that where's it called? The Fabian Society.
Yeah.
Which has got the wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah, that's the one. You just said it there. I've just noticed on the chat, the Fabian Society. Yeah. So I'm confusing it with Flavius, like the Roman family. The imperial line. But yeah, it's
Well,
thank you for
Fabian,
correcting me there, because that was I knew it wasn't right when I was saying it. I'm thinking, anyway, it doesn't matter. So.
Fabian was a Roman general who fought wars by other means, and he did. There was a Chinese chappie, wasn't there? I don't know his name, but he was several thousand years ago, who wrote The Art of War, and he was the first one that worked out. Sun Tzu, thanks, mate. Ideological subversion. But Fabian was a little bit later, and he used similar techniques as well. So, that's quite something. But this is the thing. I started writing a book about it, and I've started writing a lot of books about it, but I thought, no, because people say, well, a load of shit, surely, because they say, surely not. Oh, surely not. But no, there's something evil. You see, someone married into my family, I've got to be careful for legal reasons, and almost destroyed my mother, father, and myself, because they had two personalities. And there would be, when they saw the rest of the family, aunts, uncles, the most charming person you could wish to meet. But then what they do, they come up against decent people. I mean, my dad, he was so honest. He was almost embarrassingly honest, my dad. And he actually drummed that into my sister and myself. So this person, what they were doing is said, now, my dad never drunk. I saw someone, I think it was your dad, coming out of at the pub. You know, he was walking along. He's probably a secret drinker. And was trying to make up things to cause rumpus between my mother and father. But they were too devoted to each other, and they knew what was going on, because my dad wouldn't drink that. And another one was my dad used to like to put a little bit of a flutter on the horses, but he did it knowing that my dad, he actually worked it out mathematically. Seriously. Yes. There he was, scientifically, and it was really successful. And he was coming up a lot. And this person said, he seems to be gambling the family's money away. And it was all behind your back. All done behind your back. There is
another way of looking at this, because I mean, right. So you sent me a voice message earlier, talking about this and about, you know, kind of demons coming in and, you know, making people change and do stuff. And I thought, well, I mean, there could be some truth in that. In fact, I suspect that there is at some level. And I thought, well, yeah, but you can't really discount the fact that some people are just assholes. You know, let's just go for that. You know, I mean, there is that. You know, some people are just horrible people, and you know, so it's not a case of everyone who's evil or who you know, gaslights or changes a personality or what, you know, take your pick. You know, some people are just horrible people. I suspect there's a fair
I agree
amount.
with you. Yeah. I agree with you. Yes, there are horrible people, but this particular type, they were, as I say, now Richard Burton, he had to drink otherwise he'd get a headache, and it made him ill, because he'd actually had so much. Yeah, he had so much drink. But these people, they can literally knock it back, and where most people would be flat on their back, no, they have this amazing capacity to just, and they're not drunk; they're sober as anything.
Do you know what? I think. No, I think the thing that put me off was I went to a party about 12 years ago-ish, probably more, and I decided it was a good idea to down an entire bottle of whiskey, and yeah, you can imagine, and it was that bad. I'm not going to go into details because obviously we're live, but let's say that never again. So that kind of put me off getting drunk, because it was one of those. God, I'll never remember that. It was horrible. And then you kind of wake up the next morning thinking, oh God, did I really do all of that? And it was like, yeah, I'm never getting that drunk again. So I haven't. I've got a little bit, you know, influenced by it, but I just don't ever want to get to that again. It was horrible.
Well, at least I'm very cheap, because you know, for me to get merry, all it needs is half a glass of Guinness, and I'm well away, you know. So
More on the Guinness, but you know, the 3 times a regular dose of fluoride kind of puts you off it a bit.
That's right. But tonight I'm on water, like H2O. It's really it's so strong, you know. This water. Hang on.
It is these days. It's probably got more chemicals in than the bloody beer. I can't even say that, just in fear of bloody, you know, YouTube censoring it. I'm going to say coffee noir. So there you go. Yeah. So.
Well, I'll tell you something. This has probably been through millions of bladders before it's reached my tap.
Nope. That's a disturbing thought. Thanks for that.
Yes, you know, it's cattle piss, people from Glasgow's pissed a lot. But I put it through a water filter. So there we go. So
puts a new meaning on the word getting pissed, doesn't it? So
it does. It does. Actually, do you know where the word getting pissed comes from?
I think you've told me this, but go on. Remind me.
The shamans years ago used to eat the funny mushrooms, and that knowledge was kept away from the average individual. So what the average individual tried to do is drink their piss, and that would make them a bit, and that's where the word pissed comes from. How charming, isn't
Seriously.
it? Yes, well, fine brew this, isn't it? Tastes like pasty does, you know. Yes,
Well,
that's
I know
serious. It's true.
with the Amanita muscaria. I mean, he used to feed it to the reindeers, and the reindeers would filter out the toxins, and then you'd kind of you drink it afterwards. And this is where we get the idea of Santa Claus, flying reindeers, and elves, etc. from. So that's an interesting one. But,
But actually, shall we have a quick whiz into chat? Have a quick
yeah,
look, see
play.
what it-
In
yeah,
fact, yeah. Can you just give me 2 minutes, and I shall
yeah.
return? How do I stop the camera? Right. Yeah, have a look through there, and I'll be 2 minutes.
Right, shall I go through the track? Right, here we go. So we got here. I thought you was interviewing Jesus there for a minute. It's better like he's turned the camera off, isn't it? Says Nathan told me Jesus was a hunchback. Was he? I don't know. I never met him. He was a bit before my time. I think he's just a hench bro. And Paul has said there's a reason why alcoholic drinks are called spirits. You're spot on there, mate. Now, the physiotherapist, I won't mention his name, Jerry, I won't mention his surname. The reason why is he, he came on my show. Great guy. But unfortunately, YouTube didn't like him and he's been banned totally from YouTube. And YouTube didn't like the program he was on with me. So they booted me off. But if you want to see that show, it's on BitChute. Now, if you go onto BitChute without a VPN, is it? You won't be able to see because BitChute has been closed for the United Kingdom, so you can only see it from overseas. But I still use BitChute because I use a VPN, and I use Proton VPN. But you can use one via Brave or Opera, I believe. So it's what suits you. But anyway, he who specialised in schizophrenia and came to the conclusion that it's demons. He says the demons like alcohol. Thank you for bringing that up, Barefoot Forager. That's very much appreciated. Yes, that's very, very true. He was fantastic on the show. I hope to get Jerry back. And I think you can understand why I'm not mentioning Jerry's surname, because the, what do you call it? It's the computers or whatever it is might pick it up and go, oh, bing, Dan,
Yeah.
But I'm going to get him back on Rumble on Sundays.
Okay.
So Jerry will hopefully be back. Actually, Nathan, how many footballs would it take for me to bribe you to come on with Jerry? So you might want to come on with him.
I mean,
Free-
I'm expensive these days, so it's kind of
Up to 4 footbobs?
thinking about 4,000 actually. But I'm sure we can negotiate somewhere along the line. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
propaganda minister, mate. You've got to pay me
Yeah.
highly. It's
That's right. That's right. Yes, I've read out the rude things people said about you, that you look like Jesus, but I decided not to mention it whilst you're back on.
kinda
You
did.
see, yeah. So that's it. So you're none the wiser now, are you? That's good.
No, I have no idea. Yeah.
Hello, it's Stephen Truthseeker. Hello, Stephen Truthseeker. Sue Sparkle. Do you know Rachel Reeves is extremely popular in the unpopularity list?
I'd imagine why.
Please and give her a big raspberry, please. Certainly, with absolute pleasure. I better wet my whistle beforehand.
Bloody hell, do I need to take a cover behind a shield or something? Just to...
And it's there we go. And if you're in America, to Rachel Reeves. Yes, I wonder if her ears were burning this evening.
Yeah, you want to be
stand a
careful, or you're gonna get a knock from the boys in blue.
That's right.
You'll have offended a politician. We're not allowed to offend anybody these days. Remember, here's a thing.
Yes.
So we're not allowed to offend anybody at all in the UK. So if a politician offends me and the population at large, then that's also a criminal offence, isn't it?
Yes, that's a bloody good point.
So
That's a
why
good
are
one.
they still walking free?
That is a good one. And how did we survive all these years without hate speech laws?
Oh, I mean, I just feel so delicate and snowflakey these days. I mean, I don't even consider what a hate speech law is. It might hurt somebody's feeling and melt them.
Yeah, that's a
Tough
pretty
world
good
these
one.
days.
Do you know, I never thought along those lines.
I
They're
know
offending
nobody ever
us.
does, and so when I go into rant mode, I'm going around saying, your government's committing treason against you, and they've just issued a law which says that they cannot effectively terrorize or offend you, well, they are themselves citizens, are they not? And they're terrorizing
Yes,
everybody and offending everybody. So why are we not reporting them? I mean, we know
that's
nothing
right.
will happen because we're in a bit of a dodgy system at the minute, aren't we? So, but
But
it's worth considering. It's worth
but
considering.
where in the statute book does it quote? Was it hate raspberries? Because I did a raspberry there, you see. So is there a sort of a hate? Because it's not speech, is it? It's a raspberry. So would that be offensive gestures or something?
Offensive gestures under local dialects, I think, something like that.
Yes. Now we got here seductions in a glass tanking you to another place. I think that means gaslighting. In a gas.
No, could that be to do with the alcohol and the spirits and stuff like that? Seduction in a glass.
Oh yes, yes, in a glass. Take it. Sorry, mate. Thanks, mate, for sorting that out. Because my father drank, I drank. Yes, because we copy our parents. You know.
I hope I don't want to copy my parents. Yeah, well, we'll leave that there. We'll leave that one there.
Yes, you had a charming childhood, didn't you?
One way of putting it.
Yes. I had a. I think your. How can I put it? I think your mum and my mum would have got on very well together, wouldn't they?
I mean, if anyone's looking for a spare mum, I've got one, so you can have a 2 minutes, and I'm going to see if I can light the place up.
Right. All my father gave me is a thirst. I like that one. Sounds like the police you are describing. That's right. Yes.
Is that better? I don't know whether that's lit the room up a bit better, but
I think it has. Yes, it's dark outside. Yes. Nice syndrome may as well be Judas syndrome. Very good, Patrick. Excellent. Here's our cheese ambassador in Wisconsin. So there we go.
You can bring the cheese. I'll bring the crackers. You know.
That's right. I am crackers.
Exactly.
Actually, do you hear about? Hang on. Yes, Favouring Society.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Between you and I, everybody, switch your microphones off, headphones off, please. Right, that's it. Do you hear the one about the bloke who goes into a psychiatrist with the crackers? Two blokes going to a psychiatrist, you see, and one. I said this loads of time on the show, so time to make a cup of tea. And one of them's got his old fella and a tin of biscuits, you see. And a psychiatrist says to the other fella, he says, "What's wrong with him?" He says, it's his effing crackers. Sorry. That is a bad one, isn't it? That really is bad.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, you have done that one, so it's kind of
I have done it before. Yes. Oh, I actually repeated the constipated vicar gag, and that one as well. But there we go. There are a few decent Labour MPs. Really?
Well, I'm sorry, Mylene. I'm not buying into that one. I don't think there's any such thing as a decent politician these days. I think they're all corrupt.
I agree with you. Yes.
I'm sorry. No offense.
Who would want to go and join a group of weirdos that a freak show like in Westminster? They're all very, very dark, and they reckon that there was an elderly lady phoned into a phone-in program who was a secretary. And she said that most of the MPs are drunk most of the day because the alcohol is so cheap in the House of Commons bar.
Well, there you go. Go see recent comments on spirits and demons. So you know that would make sense. Here's my biggest problem with the UK Labour Party. For anyone outside of the UK that doesn't remember that horrific period we went through in the last 5 years, my biggest issue with the Labour Party is that during certain legislation that was passed in Parliament, they tended to abstain from voting. Now, correct me for being naive here, but if you are an elected official that's supposed to be speaking and voting on behalf of the people that you represent, doesn't abstaining from voting basically isn't that a dereliction of duty? Aren't they stepping back from what they've been elected to do? So that's my biggest problem there. It's like, look, even if they voted the other way, at least they had the balls to do it. But the fact that they abstained en masse, that's an absolute, what is it? Failure or
was dereliction of duty.
Dereliction of duty. Yeah, we'll go for that. But it is they're failing in their employment. So why have we not called out for a vote of no confidence on all of them? But again,
Yes.
we know that that's not going to work because it's gone too far now. So there you go.
Well,
I'm ranting again. I'm ranting.
well, that's it. I mean, I'm really going to, because it's the local council elections, and I'm well, it's a cock up, whatever way you look at it, and
Exactly.
I'm really going to go out of my way not to vote, as I always do.
It's such a hard thing to do that these days. I mean, it's almost like
Yes,
what you're saying, Eric, is that voting is a complete waste of time.
yes.
Oh,
We live
yeah,
in a mafia dictatorship, and until
I
they
prefer the
sort out
Mafia,
their
mate. They get shit done properly. So
oh, they do. They do. I know for a fact. I mean, my cousin, who unfortunately passed away now, but he married an Italian girl, and he moved to Greece, Athens in Greece. And when I went over to visit him, he said when they first moved there in the 1950s, he said the police had a very cushy time of it. He said because all the families knew each other, and if a girl was raped or attacked in any way, there'd be a body floating down the river the next day. The families knew who it was. He said
whereas these days
and
they
he's
tend to protect that kind of person from from ever seeing justice,
ah,
don't they?
that's right. Ah, he's an adolescent. All that sort of stuff. But the thing is, the mafia. That's the way they were started because the police were so useless. They started with law. That they enforced the law, and at least the mafia do something for their local people. But I think the mafia government we have in, or governments we have in, who are basically usury puppets, because they've got to be usury friendly. They are the mafia, but they have the best PR our money can buy.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
it.
this is another thing, isn't it? You know, everyone forgets they work for the government. You
Yes,
know, it's, oh, I'm not a public servant. Yeah, you are. Where do you think your taxes are going?
it's theft. There's no
Yeah,
ifs and buts
exactly.
about it. You can call it a
Yeah.
funny name.
Mm.
I mean, I'll give you another one there, a funny name. I worked with a bloke whose father had he had a, what was it? A flash car now. It was a Lotus Ford,
All right.
all souped up, and some kids stole it. And when it went to court, he had the social workers in there and all that, and they said they took the car without. Was it? They changed it from theft to
Talking.
they took the car without the owner's consent.
Yeah.
And
Isn't it?
and
Yeah. Yeah.
it sounds mild, is it? Taking the car without the owner's consent. And his father said it's theft, contempt of court. Not allowed to say that.
Wow.
And he was out of pocket, and they got away with it. They
Yeah.
actually got away with it. So that's where the mafia used to come in, because they would see to them where they wouldn't steal a car again. But I'm not in favour of that. I'm not praising it or anything like that. But I think that people are generally law abiding, and I think what the Mafia do, they put the frighteners up adolescents. They don't harm them, but they put the frighteners up them.
Wasn't one of the tenets of the whole mafia gangster institution to you know, they're very respect based, are they not? So you know, they like to emphasize that, you know, treat others as you expect to be treated, and don't cross a line. Well, that's certainly an improvement on, let's say, the current system of things, isn't it?
Well, that's right. I mean, next week, plug. Next
Mm.
Sunday, I'm going to do a show called "The War Justification Industry," and I'm going. I'm going to try and take off Churchill, which I'm not. I'm crap at taking him off, but I'm doing a different speech, an honest speech, as if he is saying what's going to happen in 80 years' time, giving a speech during the war.
Mm.
So I'm putting it together, and I've decided not to do it with AI or anything like that. I'm going to do it badly because it's more funny if you do it badly. so you know, but there we are. But now,
Can I just bring a comment up there that Paul's just made,
certainly,
because he's right. Our joke telling bus riding fellow guest so says, please remember that the mafia are linked to the parasite elite linked to the Vatican. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm not. Don't
hang
get me
on, I'll
wrong, mate.
find
I'm
it.
not advocating for the mafia or anything like that. What I'm saying is, I think, you know, in terms of what we've got now, There's room for a massive improvement, isn't there? So, but yeah, you're right. I mean, there is that.
It is spot on. That they are very much linked, you know. But where am I? I've lost myself. Here I am.
You've got to find
Now
yourself now, Rick.
I've got to find myself. Jojo Gizmo says, I think Blair looks really evil now. Well, you should have heard what he said about you, Jojo. I mean, it was. Well, yeah, he does. There's something. Because there was a chap that wrote a book who was friends with him. And he said he suddenly changed. He became evil. And he used to be a very nice bloke, apparently. So,
At what point, I wonder?
Yes. Well, his mum might have liked him.
It does, though. I mean, you compare what he. I mean, he was never exactly, Mr. Stunner, but I mean, he does look dark. So yeah, you know what I mean. It's, sorry, I'm hearing a bit of echoing. Do you want me to restart on the Edge browser? Because I don't. Can the chat let me know if the echo's bothering them?
Well, actually, you're doing a bit of Billy Dainty.
Oh,
and it's all right now. I think you're just frozen. Do you want to go into what's it, Firefox you use?
so I'm in Firefox at the minute, but I'm thinking that I could probably improve the audio if I switch over to Edge. So do you want me to do that, and I'll reconnect in about 2 minutes?
Yeah, it's okay. I'll go through the chat, and we can speak about you, not with you.
That's fine, yeah. I'm used to that anyway. Right, I'll be back as soon as possible, mate. Let me see if I can improve the audio. All right,
righto. That's okay. Now, as well, speak the UK and Ireland are being changed. Yes, they are definitely being changed. Sue Sparkle, by the way, that was Stephen Truth Seeker. And then we got to Sue Sparkle says, my grandma was teetotal and she was very wise. Yes, my granddad, both my granddads. No, I'm not sure about my mum's side. I think he was teetotal. I think both my granddads were teetotal. And Stephen Truth Seeker says, Jojo, more than one Tony Blair. Yes, I've heard that. He's got a double. We got Paul. Are they born horrible though, or is it though through life experiences that make them become horrible individuals? And how's that?
There we go. Tell me how that is.
That sounds bloody sight better. And you're not suffering from out of sync. Have you ever suffered from out of sync? You get it from from watching too many naughty foreign films that have been dubbed. Sort of.
Steady on.
Good morning. Hello, darling.
What's that, the Bruce Lee?
Yeah, suffering from severe out of sync there. Yeah. And then we got Deb. Hey, wish you better, Deb. Good evening, folks. Hope you're all well. Sorry I can't be there. Please remember to like and share. Oh, bless you. This video. Thank you, Deb. That's very kind. But she'll be back soon, and we're all wishing you better. You know, and Paul said, I passed a transgender bar on Saturday, and it had a sign outside: "Eat, drink, and be merry."
All right.
What is it? It was Christmas Day in the workhouse, and everybody was feeling merry. And Mary didn't like it very much, so got up and walked out.
Harassment these days, isn't it?
That's right. Yes. Now, whatever happened to Basil Brush? Oh, bloody horror! I know he made a comeback about 20 years. About 20 years ago. Couldn't never stand.
Yeah, we don't want Basil Brush back. That was
bloody
a level of insanity, wasn't it?
And who was that bloke? Timmy Mallet. I couldn't stand him either.
Hey, I tell you what, I knew right. So I used to work at a college, and I knew a lass who used to work with him, and he was apparently a right piece of work. Again, I've got to be careful what I say because I'm not supposed to know, but he's not exactly nice, apparently. So I'll just leave it at that because obviously I don't want to get done for anything. But yeah, there's some. I heard a few interesting tales about that one, Mr.
Really?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also Huey Green. I don't know if anybody remembers Huey Green. Hi, friends. It's Opportunity Knocks, And the camera went on to him when he least expected it once. And he was going, I mean, hi. And he had a sort of camera face. And I actually couldn't say this because he croaked it a long time ago, And I spoke to somebody that was due to go on Opportunity Knocks, this woman, and she was a singer. And she said that he was really rude and very arrogant. She
Yeah.
didn't like him at all, But
I suspect the entertainment industry's full of them. Really, it's
yeah. And no, she had a mini skirt on, and he said, "Oh, we don't want to see your legs. They're ugly." Something like that. They were really, not nice. It's something you wouldn't say to a lady. Now, your defences are down when you drink. That's how the demons get in, especially if you're not in a good place mentally. That's
I
right.
agree with that.
That's Deb, and I agree with that. But I think with boozers, they are something special because I think they're born like it. I think it comes from the family. And the local beaver got offended. Did it really? Now,
No, no comment.
no comment, yes. But no, I think they're born like it. And what I've seen of them, they all got, it's as if they've got a handbook in front of them and they work exactly the same. And that is try and divide people, try and make an honest person look like a liar, and do it in such a way that when the person is trying to show their innocence, they're making themselves look as if they're lying or they're guilty. They're very clever. It's very, very clever.
A lot of manipulators out there. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, the gaslighters. They're brilliant gaslighters. They're genius at it. But the one that tried to break my family up, my godfathers, weren't they successful? Very successful. Horrendous. Bloke goes to Deborah. Bloke goes to a psychiatrist with a steering wheel down his pants. The psychiatrist says, "What seems to be the trouble?" But the bloke says, "This steering wheel, it's driving me nuts."
That's a dad joke that belongs to mine.
I like that one. And I read Just Get Fucked. He likes it, yes. Now, Marlene says, "Sorry, Nathan, there are a few that cared, not many."
I suspect there was a few. I mean, I remember being told about the odd one back when legislation was being passed that were against it, but it didn't really get them very far to speak out. And then the next thing, they all kind of fell in line, toe the party line, and then abstaining from voting. So I get that people still think that there's some good guys in politics, but even if there are, they don't tend to last very long. I'll just leave it there. They don't want good guys in politics. They want agenda pushing maniacs.
Yes. Ask them one question only. What are you prepared to do to eradicate usury?
So
they'll be off your step quicker than a bleeding rocket. They will.
Well, yeah, they probably will, because certain other interested parties will remove them. But again, sounding like a broken record, but it's a problem. Usury is definitely a problem. I don't think it's the problem, not by a long shot.
Oh, I think it is.
So
I disagree there. I think once you talk
I
money,
know we've had this disagreement. But so let me ask you this, right? If you remove usury overnight, are the world's problems solved?
Not exactly at the same. Not at once, but over generations they will be, I think.
Yeah, but we don't have generations to resolve it. And again, respectfully, I'm not being horrible. I do disagree with you. It is a problem, certainly. But my argument to this is, okay, well, let's say tomorrow they change the financial system, which is what they're talking about doing with social crediting and electronic currency and all of that. Well, then in that case, they're not really going to need usury anymore, because they can replace that with something else. And so therefore usury is going to be wiped out, but the problem still remains. And again, and I'm sorry for people who are familiar with me saying this, but the problem is, it's a morality issue. It's a principle issue. It's what will people be prepared to do to stand on principle to stop tyranny from taking over. That's where we go. That's, but again.
Well, yes, but see, the thing is that government is necessary to keep usury going. Because without usury, you wouldn't need government, because it'd be civil servants.
I don't know.
Run the country.
I mean, again, look at the idea of technocracy. I mean, pretty soon government's going to be redundant anyway. Once that infrastructure is, let's say, fully installed and activated, and it's not very far from being that position, government becomes useless. It becomes irrelevant. The royals become irrelevant, because then the banks and technocracy and, let's say, technocrats, they're going to take over and rule from the shadows that, like, we've never seen before. I mean, at least with governments that are people still think have got some ounce of control, and the banks and all. Yeah, okay, you can see them, you can name them, but who are the technocrats?
Well,
once it's controlled by an algorithm, who's running the show then?
Precisely. But the thing is that when you look at thousands and thousands of years, the people that's tried to stop usury and get things right, with the exception of a few, have all met. Well, they've all ended up in a wooden overcoat, and apparently Caesar. So I was talking to Paul about this, Paul English. Apparently, I didn't know this, that Caesar tried to stop usury, and they ganged up and stabbed him. He wasn't a bad bloke. And when you look at the countries that stopped, I mean, every country that was on the axis of evil did not have usury. And really, I mean, yes, that's right. I mean, Gaddafi, I mean, if you had... see, this sounds a bit socialist, what I'm saying now, but if you had a government or people's bank where the profits of the country goes into the people's pockets and not into a minority shady individuals, then people would think, oh, I'm going to work hard because the country's going to get more profit. And all right, you're always going to get your lazy gits that are not going to do anything. But
then they're not going to receive anything, so then that's going to be a motivating factor by default, isn't it?
Well, they will, because you see, benefits would not be necessary, because you would get, this is what happened in, I believe, Libya, unless somebody can prove me wrong, where people got money into their bank accounts from the profits of the country. And people then became enriched by this. So, why should we slave our guts out for our money to just disappear into the shadows? No, it wouldn't. And
well, again, there's so many ways that your money's been taken from you anyway. That's, again, I would say it's just one of many, many, many problems. In terms of a people's bank, I mean, again, it's a good idea. It's not, I don't dismiss things like this. It's just that do you honestly think that they are now going to allow their infrastructure to be sidelined so that people can take back their own money? I mean, they're not going to allow that. And again, it's not me saying it's I'm not dismissing it. I would say it's quite necessary to do something like that, but unfortunately, you need to take the old system down, and that's where the problem is now.
I agree. Well, yes. I mean, I remember when we was talking on the phone a couple of weeks ago. I was talking about self-respect, self-discipline, and taking responsibility. We said we can't do it now because people have been conditioned to look for a leader, whereas it'll take several generations to get that out of people. That if you want a leader, you just look in the mirror. That's who the leader is. It's yourself. And
so that. Sorry, mate. Not to interrupt. See, that's a double-edged sword as well. See, I was of the same opinion until recently, and then I was looking at the. I keep referring to the truth movement a lot, and I get it. It sounds like a broken record, but what we're saying is, when people are looking for a savior, I don't think leadership is wrong. I think we do need a leadership structure, because at the minute we're going around in chaos. I mean, there's we're talking about movements, freedom movements, truth movements, liberation, whatever you want to call it. We are going around aimless because there is no command structure there to keep us on track. And to keep us, again, and I'm going to use unification of purpose again. If we had a unified purpose, which we could all strive towards, which we knew was going to be achievable, then but then who's going to keep people on the right track? So if we're all in our own
You've
heads
got a
and doing
point.
our own, do
Was
you know what I mean? It's again,
in an
yes,
interim,
we
I
need
know what you
autonomy,
mean.
but yeah,
But
I just don't think civilization society is at the point now. I think we've regressed. I think we've devolved as a species, and
we have.
I think it's been designed that way. I mean, they've dumbed us down. They've turned us against each other. They've made narcissism you know, I mean, it's truly epidemic now. Narcissism is a massive problem in the world. That can never lead to a healthy society with you know, with good outcomes. So
Well, you've only got. I mean, I haven't got a television, but when I did have a television, I won't mention his name, but there was a chef, and there that effed and blind who was a bully, and he got fame from this. Oh, he's a nice bloke, really. No, it's horrible because several decades earlier, he would never have seen he would never got onto television with that sort of behaviour. But they're pushing that type of mentality, and as I say, as an interim period, I mean, when you look at the truth movements, I think they're happy in their depression. They're very happy depressed.
Yeah.
Because the last thing they would want is someone like me laughing and joking, cracking gags. They don't want it. So you know, I'm like a square peg, and they like to be.
Yeah, but look at what happens if you've got a depressed population, you've got a passive population.
Correct.
If you've got a passive population, you've got an easily controlled population, and so that's why we see what's happening now. So yeah, we are. I think not just as a movement. I think the whole world's depressed. I know I've written about it quite significantly in there, actually. So go and buy the book, people. Come on, let's get some. Make you some profits.
Some geezer who's on here who's actually written a bit in there as well. So there we go.
Who's that, Eric? I don't.
But no, seriously though, I mean, they are happy in their misery. They really are, because they're looking for people saying what they want to believe in. And do you remember, what was it I said on Telegram channel the other week? It was that you got the 30%. There's 30, 40, 30. 30% of people who believe everything the government say.
Yeah.
And then you've got the truthers who are believing a controlled opposition.
Do you know what? I've left the book downstairs. I was reading it this morning. I've got to be careful because this is a trigger word for YouTube. So let me. The book is called The Totalitarian. No, it's not. The Psychology of Totalitarianism, and it discusses. I'm going to call it cult formation psychosis, but I think people can jump to what it really means. And anybody who wants to understand the social and psychological dynamics of how this all plays out, how it all comes together, you really got to go and have a look at that book. It's fantastic. But the whole 30-40-30 rule, it seems to be factual. It seems to be, it's evidence based. And so but then what we've got is 30% are always going to be pro, 40% are always going to, follow the herd, and then you've got the 30 that are always going to go against. So that's the basic.
That's it.
Principle.
That's it. But the thing is, Sue Sparkle says, I forgot to add Pavlova. Was that the bloke with his dog, wasn't he? That's saliva and that. In a raspberry pullover, in a raspberry pullover with lots of cream, nothing nasty there. I love pullover myself.
I'm reserving. I'm not saying a thing. I'm not saying nothing.
Right. Air Hammond. Hello, Air Hammond. Good evening, all. Evening. Palpatine.
Wow,
really?
That's a haircut and a half, isn't it? Wow.
Isn't it?
No, that's a Star Wars reference. Well, I think it is. Anyway, Palpatine. It's like Emperor Palpatine.
Ah, yes, yes.
Yeah. So
I'm
a Star Wars.
Said I, as if I know exactly what I'm talking about. That is an acute case with me of bullshit. Oh yes. Now, where is it? Is it possible the current Blair has a body double? Yeah.
One of many.
No, Deb has said no echo, Nathan. That's good. That's good. Thanks, Deb. Teetotal is 4 mugs.
Well, you can drink out of a mug if you want.
Yes. Actually, I like warm drinks. I like tea and coffee. That's the way I am. Now, it says here, where are we? Paul Mohammed said, if you had lots of money, would you not use a doppelganger, double? They are all at it. Yes, that's right. And Air Hammond says Basil Brush was shit. Yes, I'd agree with you
Yeah,
there.
I agree.
Agree, yes. Blame Mallet's mallet. Mallet's mullet. But
Yeah, I've got my own mallet. I've got my own. There you go. I've got a nice little.
Oh,
that's
yes.
a real hammer.
That's a Nordic one, isn't it? That's a Nordic
yeah,
one, isn't it?
Yeah. So I don't know if you can see that.
Good God.
Nice.
Timmy
heavy.
Mallet was seen at a Tommy march. Oh, God.
You're
Don't talk to me
joking.
about Tommy.
Bloody hell.
Yes.
Mm.
And he's another, what I call Pied Piper,
Mhm.
leading people up the... I mean...
I wouldn't trust that man if he sent me a check for £1 million and said it's yours. You know, no, you're all right.
I
Tom,
wouldn't
you
trust him.
keep it.
He
Yeah.
works for a country we're not allowed to criticise, their
Mm.
secret agency. And he's done it very well, very, very, very well. He's well schooled. Him with he's with a lady called Katie.
Mm.
I won't mention any surnames.
I have no idea who you're on about, but I definitely do.
Yes, and I'm not talking about Bisto or whatever it is used to advertise. Barefoot Foreigner. To me, the key difference is between nice people and kind people. I agree. Niceness is an adaptive strategy to keep you safe. A nice guy is going to feed you to the wolves to preserve his own skin.
Oh, that's very dark. So which one am I then?
That's an interesting
I mean
one.
that even feeds into the Fabian Society thing as well, if you think about it. You know,
This is
they're
what I was saying
pretending to be
about
all
boozers.
nice and all benevolent, and then they're gonna literally devour us, aren't they? So,
But
it's
look at
interesting.
boozers. Nice as pie. And, oh, surely not. Oh, no. And this is what the rest of the family said about this character that married into my family. Oh, no. He's as nice as pie. No, surely not. My mother used to almost be on a point of a nervous breakdown with what this character was up to. And my aunties would say, oh, surely not. Oh, they really didn't understand. They really didn't.
Yeah, I know the type that you're referring to because I've heard it myself. You know, you get you get people with this lovely image or the sweet, and they seem to have this way of convincing people with their charm, and then you'll tell them something. It's like, no, they would never do that. It's like, well, they would because I know them and you don't, and so
Well,
yeah.
a mate of mine, I didn't have a girlfriend, and he said, look, he said, secretary where I work, he said, she seems just right for you. Well, we met on a blind date, and we seemed to get on, but she was a boozer. Absolute boozer. And what happened with her and me, my godfathers, I almost had a nervous breakdown with her. And she worked to the same imaginary logbook as the other one, as the person that married into my family.
Right.
Virtually the same. And that is to cause trouble, to drag you through the earth, and was always sort of, I'm so nice, I'm very nice. And then you see the other side when she was away from everybody else. Frightening. It really is.
Do you think? I mean, well, we know a lot of people will thrive on drama. I mean, that's
drama queens, yeah.
Yeah, but some people, it's like they seek trouble and chaos, and if there isn't trouble and chaos, they get bored and they start to lose their grip on. It's I don't know. There's some people really thrive on it. So
well, I said something once, and they, as I say, they're brilliant for taking things out of context. I can't remember fully what it was, but she said, "But you've said that." I said, "No, you got it out of context." And then I'm driving along, and I'm doing 70 miles an hour, and I'm overtaking a car, and she starts punching me. So I'm holding onto the steering wheel like this, and I'm doing, and the car's going like this. They just flip. because whether they're psychopath or not, because psychopaths only live for the moment. Then suddenly she got stop and go, oh, and be very nice again. It has two people, a double personality. But she topped up on the old,
Right. Okay.
I mean, unbelievable. So, and now, Air Hammond, I always act the nut. Yes. Yes. What? Who's that mean? What does that mean?
What does that mean? I don't know. I mean, I've got to be honest. The hair's distracting. I mean, is it a lollipop? Is it like a?
You're omming, are you?
Yeah, it's one of them massive helmet things. So it's very, very. I'm not going to sleep properly tonight after seeing that. Anyway, sorry, mate. Sorry.
Do you advertise? Does Air Hammond advertise Brillo brushes? Could be a Brillo.
Do you know? It's just occurred to me there that might be his actual profile. In which case, I've just insulted the guy. And so now, should I be like?
But Air Hammond could be female. You don't know. You're assuming it's male. It could be female.
Could be. Well, yeah, but then anyone could be these days. I mean, I was thinking about being pregnant next week because apparently I can do that now. I mean,
really,
I won't be the week after, but
I gave birth to a pile of shit this morning, so
I
there we go.
Really want to know that one, Chris. Thanks very much for sharing. I'm pretty sure we can piss it. Oh no, out to one side.
Yes. I had some baked beans earlier, and I feel that I've got a pregnancy coming.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, the show is now abhorrently terrible and filth.
Yes. Hang on, I got contractions. Oh, that's better. Yeah. You two may disagree, but one thing you can all agree on: we are not evolving, not as we should.
Yeah, I agree with that. There you go. How was that for an agree? I absolutely agree. I saw that come up a while back, and I thought, yeah, look, the thing is as well. This one seems to be very specific to the truth movement because like there is a truth movement these days. Right, but since when are we not allowed to disagree with each other? This is crazy.
Yeah.
The fact that we can still agree to disagree is I would think that's a really healthy thing to do. So but and it seems to be an increasing God, I don't even. It's a myopia, really. It's like, oh, well, if you don't believe in that, then you're not with us, and therefore you're not a truther. It's like, yeah, well, you ever considered that you're wrong?
And you're awake. Oh, he's awake. It's all right. He's awake.
Yeah, sure.
I hate that bloody term. It gets up my bleeding neuter. That does.
Yeah, it's deceptive. Yeah.
That's right. It's a deception, and I think that I mean, we're not saying that all truth movements are the same. There's some I know are bloody nice people, and they can see through it. But they are generally very small groups, and they haven't evolved into a cults. Because when it becomes a cult, that bing, something's flicked up there. The light's gone out. Irrelevant universe. Is it really?
Might be irrelevant.
Caesar dog food.
I'll pass.
No, don't know about that there.
Nope.
No, passed on that one. The UK is the taxation isles. DJ Beto, I agree with you there. Yes. I
think there's an entire page in my book that outlines just the main taxes in the UK. And it's phenomenal. And that was just with a very quick search on a government website, and the amount of taxes that we pay just as an arbitrary. Why the hell are people accepting this? What's wrong, man?
I know.
What's wrong with it?
Was it a medieval serf worked less hours and paid less than we do in tax? Unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, they probably had more free time, and they probably had better food and water as well. So
they did.
There is something to be said for that.
Well, did you know that the average peasant ate salmon, and also they ate brown bread, which was good for you, although I don't eat any bread at all. And it was the posh that had the white bread, because they thought, they're posh. I mean, in Victorian times, it was posh to eat tin food. Seriously. If you ate tin food, it was very posh. Hey, look, let's get the tin out. Now, and now I would agree with you. I'd agree with you here, Deb. Air Hammond, What are you talking about?
I think maybe he's been on the mushrooms or something, and he just wants to share the love. I don't know.
Yeah, no. I thought it was somebody who put something in the water. Perhaps
No, they
we
do
need
that. The
a
treatment
leader.
plants now, it's all chemicaled up, so we don't need to worry about that.
That's right. We need a leader. Arthur, King Arthur. That's right. Yes.
Why not?
Yes. Why not? Yes. The sword and the stone.
Mm.
When
I
I
mean,
was
it's
a
complete
kid,
fabrication based on a sun allegory, but okay, well, yeah, we'll have King Arthur.
at school, we had the school play, and the teacher said, "Whatever you do, don't wave to your parents." And of course, my parents came along late. They were late for everything. My dad was very punctual for everything. My mum was late. She believed that if you had to get somewhere by 8 o'clock, if you left the house at 8 o'clock, you're automatically early. Anyway, there's a bit of a rumpus in the audience. You see, and I'm standing there with these woolen tights on, and it was King Arthur, sword in the stone. You see. So I'm standing there scratching because I had a bit of an allergy to spoil, you see. Just stop scratching, boy. And I was like, oh, like this. And suddenly, my parents arrived, and there's people getting up off their seats to get them into the spare seat.
Could have been worse, mate.
Yes. And then my mum goes, and I knew that if I was to wave back, bloody hell, my life wouldn't be worth living. So I'm going, trying to hide a wave. And anyway, I had that. I was sweating hot. I was scratching like anything, and I was very uncomfortable. And my line, I can always remember it was, "What truth have we of his doings?" One line I had. And when it came to my turn, it was sort of nudge. It was, "What doings have we of his truth?" He always, I think he should be pissed, that kid, isn't he? And so that's what? I found
I
out.
got traumatized by school plays, mate. Yeah, the stuff that they got me to say, it was like, "Oh, why are you trying to tell me something?" Like, I held a sign up for it was a thing on pollution, and the only line I had was a sign that said "ugly," and I had to stand up and just shout "ugly," and I just thought, "Thanks, teacher," wonderful.
Oh,
that
bloody
one.
hell! That's bad, isn't it?
That went down well.
Yeah.
I can't imagine why I've got a complex. Can you?
No, I can't.
Yeah.
But can you imagine the dread, the horror on my face when my mum was sitting there going? Because I mean, I knew I was gonna get probably a 2-week nagging for that. I'm your son. You're my son. I gave birth to you, and you ignored me on the stage. I mean, can you? I mean, that was my Laurence Olivier moment. So, and here I am. What truth have we of his doings? I could have.
I'm going to go one better, mate.
What's that?
I'm going to go. At least your mother turned up to your plays.
Yes.
There we go. No, seriously, she never did, as far as I remember. Anyway, I don't remember ever coming to one. So
no,
kind of glad.
She wasn't that proud of me, though. I mean, later on in life, but I think I'll be straight with you. To be fair to my mum, I think she had an underdiagnosed mental illness. I really do. She, the way she was acting. Now we got here. Nathan, share your book details, please. Hey, what?
I know, but I haven't got my sponsor here, Steve James and Eric Von Essex. I don't even think I've got one in my room, actually. Hold on.
Very good book. Very good book it is.
I'm going to do a double plug. There we go. Right, so
I can see you're a very well educated person with all your books at the back there.
Oh yeah, there's a fair few. That's only about half. There's another shelf there, and there's about 3 more in the other room as well. So yeah, if anyone's interested, it's Fake Awake. And I've completely forgotten my own bloody subtitles: Cult, Psyop, Psychosis, and the Systematic Destruction of the Truth Movement. And you can buy it from Amazon worldwide at the minute, or you can email me for a copy, but you'll have to wait for about 2 weeks because I haven't got any available. So there's that one, which goes into all kinds of stuff, mostly psychology, psyops. It's been a while, mate. There's an autobiography in there that apparently I could have skipped out, but I've got a lot of good feedback for it. And then my second plug, I didn't write this one, But this is John Hamer's new book, 60 Degrees South, with Andy Ross, and I published it. So I'm the publisher. So if you'd like to support us, get yourselves over to Amazon and, go and do us some good work for, I don't know.
And
See, this is why you shouldn't fall asleep before the show, because your head's all fuzzy and stuff. So
I might finish my book called Oh Surely Not.
So that's a good title, actually.
Oh Surely Not, yeah. Oh Surely Not.
Well, you're not going to like the title of my new one, because I'm going to change it, because I thought, you know what, that's bloody boring, so I'm going to change it. So I've got two in the works, but unfortunately, I've had to take a hiatus from writing because my Microsoft Office subscription decided to conk out today. So now I'm going to have to fork out another 70-odd quid just for that. Yeah, I know, and that's just for an annual subscription. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to take a few days break.
Well, when we're off air,
No, it's fine. A couple of days and I'll have it back. But thank you. It's a bit of a pain because I don't like the whole subscriction model.
No, you don't. No, actually, you can quite legally. There's nothing illegal about it. You can get Microsoft Office for a very small amount, and the license is paid for. Then, and I'll show you how to do it.
Oh, in that case, yeah. Okay, tell me all about. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Fair enough.
That's what I did. And it is perfectly above law. I won't have William knocking at the door tomorrow saying
William Gates, yeah.
William Gates, because I think he earns £1 million a minute or something, doesn't it? Something like that.
Can we do it? Can we swap? Yeah. I'll do his job and he can do mine, just temporarily, of course. I mean, I'd only need about 5 minutes. That'll be fine.
I wonder if he holds back doing a pee, because if that piss would cost him about £6 million or something, wouldn't it? Or
is that when he takes the toilet break and he's I don't know.
I've a crap this morning
as well.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they're putting in the water supply in the UK.
Yes. Now, Air Hammond, us General X got to deal with it. Okay.
I'm imagining he's saying Gen X have got to deal with it. I mean, good luck dealing with this shit, because yeah, good luck.
That's right. Good luck. The consistency super negative guest whinges about the population being depressed. That's depressing,
but you love it. Yeah. You love it. So yeah. I mean, to be fair though, the population is like really, really passive and depressed.
That's ideological subversion, and this is why I made that's why my personal quest is to make people laugh. We've got to laugh at them. I mean, when you look at them, it's a freak show. I mean, can you imagine? Yeah. I've said this loads of times. When Keir Starmer makes an appearance, people just stand there and go do 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 and whistle the Laurel and Hardy tune. What can he do?
Sorry, I can hear some sirens, Chris. There's some sirens coming. It's from your end of the thing now. Hey, actually, I've got. Think about this for a minute, right? So this is like where our double act comes in. So I depress the life out of them, and then you lift their spirits again.
Yeah.
There you go.
As I said, I don't know. If I go to a truth group, I went to one miles and miles away from where I live, and it always in pain with laughter, because they had a good sense of humour, it was cracking jokes, and it was a real laugh. That was completely the opposite way round to another one that I went to. It was like you play that for. I was not very popular there. The last thing they wanted was people laughing. We can't have this humour here. Deb says, my next video is out on Sunday. Strange disappearances in the UK. Oh, we'll make a look at that. Yes. What time, Deb? So, okay. Next video is out on Sunday. Strange disappearances in the UK. Now that will be interesting. So if you could pop a time down, or I'll find out, we'll do that. There's a link there. If you can you could put your cursor across it or write it down or something. So there we are. Or the name of your YouTube site would be a good idea.
I was going to say, if you put your YouTube in it, because actually it's unusual for YouTube to allow links, but because it's YouTube, they're allowing that one through, aren't they? Really?
That's right.
So yeah.
If you always do what you have always done, then you will always get what you get. I agree with you. Yes. Was it Einstein said something about if you repeat the same experiment over and over and over again, you're always going to get the same
Yeah.
response. But I think it's easy to generalise about truth movements. There are some that are very nice, and it's like people. There's some that you best away from, and that's it. I think up north, you've got a different type of truth. Although the one you went to wasn't. I think you had a jolly pleasant chap that was running it. I don't think.
Well, no, that's yeah. Yeah, I've got to be careful what I say with this one actually, because that one's loaded. I mean, there's a few up here, and I've seen different. Some of them have been really good. So I'll always give a shout out to Truth Seekers Northeast, because I don't know. I
They
don't
are
even know if
different, aren't they?
well, yeah, but they were really dedicated to it, and they put on a load of speakers. I mean, a lot of the people in the YouTube sphere, talking, public figures. I met them through Truth Seekers Northeast. I mean, they were absolutely brilliant when they were putting their talks on.
That's
Very
Maureen, isn't it?
dedicated. Yeah,
But
yeah,
that's Maureen.
Maureen Dawn.
She's good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but mate, they always had a good group. They always had decent numbers. In fact, I remember sometimes they'd fill a hall with people turning up. It was brilliant. So I would say that was a really
That's
good
spot
thing.
on.
I don't know whether it's
I
still
agree with
going.
I think it is. But the trouble is I think a 10-hour drive every Sunday was a bit too much for me. And a 10-hour drive back again, just slightly,
Yeah.
And I'd have to get out about in the middle of the night, wouldn't I? I guess you get there by 10 o'clock. So, hello.
See, we don't even do that. So we've still got a tiny group on a Sunday now, but we don't meet at 10 o'clock anymore. And we get a lot of flack from the people who don't come, and they say, oh, well, if you meet at 10 o'clock, I'd turn up. Well, if you met at 10 o'clock when we were doing that, and you turned up then, maybe it would still be at 10, but you never turned up. So we stopped, and we put it to a time that suits the people who actually still go. So nothing passive aggressive in that statement.
Nothing passive. No, that's right. But the thing is I think with anywhere, so even where you work, your face has got to fit, and if your face don't fit, that's it. And I think that's it. And I mean, as I say, the nicest one that I'd like to go to is a couple of hours drive away from where I live. So can't do that every Sunday, But that's the thing.
Much to I mean, that would be conviction and dedication. That that would be really special kind of.
Yes, and so, but again, I think there's a difference between urban and country. Very much a difference between the sort of mentality. There's possibly, Now we got to. Yes, I agree. Yeah. Oh, you've come against the poor Tommy brigade, haven't you? Oh, poor Tommy. Oh, Tommy. Yeah. He says the truth.
Anything but poor, isn't he?
Yeah. He says the truth. That's all I'm interested in. You said the truth. And Piper.
Big time.
Yes. Marlene says, barefoot foreigner, to be honest, the population seem a bit lost at the moment to me. Yes, that's right.
They are, very.
And I think, but you see, the thing is, wars are lost and fought and lost or won in the hearts and minds of people. And by depressing the population, then they are controlling us by that depression. And they've really worked hard on the so-called truth movement to depress them. So, nothing's going to change, and everything's going to change. I'm optimistic. I think things will change in a way that we least expect. Seriously. The truth is seeping through now, and I think they're desperate to hide. They're like a little boy trying to plug the holes of a dam with his fingers, and they're running out of fingers. That's why they've got all these hate speech laws and things like that.
Yeah.
They won't suppress it. That's the
thing.
Okay.
Let's balance this out, because usually I give the negative take on things, and again, I'm not gonna lie and say that I'm optimistic about the future. I'm not. However, if you look at how effective you're being by the measures that they take to stop that, the censorship now it's overkill, which means that voices are being heard and the message is getting through, and people are waking up. I will concede on that front. We are having a bit of success, but it you know, they're trying to stem that at every opportunity. But the other thing that we've got to bear in mind is that these evil, I'm trying to think of a word that won't get us banned here. Let's just, let's authorities that ought not to be. They're not gods, but if people put them on that pedestal,
Correct.
then they're going to view them as gods, and then
Spot
they're
on.
going to win by default, because that's going to demoralize people into accepting them as this overlord figure. So the one thing that I would really suggest we don't do, and as much as I'd use caution here, they're not gods. They can still be taken down, but that's going to involve a bit of effort from the likes of us to kind of say no and do what's necessary, and that's what's lacking. So there you go.
You spot on. Yeah, that's the thing. And also, we're giving it energy. I mean, I don't think a week goes past unless we're told that there's an asteroid going to hit the Earth, the pole's going to flip. A bit unfortunate if all happened at the same time, wouldn't it? Nuclear war. That's the other one. Conscription.
That old gemstone that they keep throwing at us.
I like the old ones. Yes. where they show you the very good fake photographs of trees wiggling around, and the camera's absolutely as still as still could be. Full of bullshit. Oh, and was it the space station? Was it experts say? That's all we get is experts say. Experts say that if a bird shits on your head, it could be painful. Things like that. Oh, it makes your hair grow. Now, fluoride in both Indian tea and coffee, is it? I think that's natural fluoride, isn't it? I wonder why they are pushed so hard. Fluoride.
I don't know, actually. I mean, there's fluoride in all types of products that we don't know about. I mean, obviously we know about water and things like that, but tea is very high in fluoride. Table salt, like not natural salt, but table salt is really highly dosed. Yeah, the shit stuff, which is why it tastes so different to the likes of like sea salt and Himalayan salt, and there's a couple of others out there. But if you want to avoid, good God, if you want to avoid fluoride, just take a look at what it's in first. I mean, I'm gonna say that it's very difficult to avoid it full stop anyway at the minute, but it will make you passive and docile. That's the whole idea of it.
Well, it calcifies your pineal gland, and look what it does to snails and slugs. I mean, it's pretty dodgy for them. Now, we got foraging barefoot sounds painful. Yes. And Deb Singleton, it's at 8 o'clock to 8:45 GMT. Hope to see you in the chat. There's only one trouble. I'll be on Rumble that time. Can't you go a day early?
I'll still be there, won't it?
Yeah, be there. In fact, we could be. Oh no, it's a special, isn't it? But on another week, we could sort of join up with Deb, couldn't we? That'd be interesting.
I don't know, mate. I've never been invited on. I wouldn't know.
Get some flip flops, love. This is here, Hammond. And
Hammond, mate, I've got to ask. Please put in your comments. I mean, are you on drugs? I'm really curious at this point. What's going on here?
No, it's talking about the barefoot forager, and barefoot forager says, Hammond, if you make a tea out of alder catkins, it hardens up your feet, ready for spring and summer. And I've got a question for you, barefoot forager. Poor old Deb, as I think she strained a muscle somewhere. It's a bit like when the shrimp went to a disco and pulled a muscle. Sorry, it's a terrible one, isn't it? And she said, was it hardens your feet, ready for spring? Well, have you got any good cures for a strained muscle? So go ahead. So if you can help Deb, it'd be marvellous. All right. So look for it. Look, and it's a fro, bro. Yes. Now we got here. Hang on. Most people are stuck in drama triangle. They see everyone as a victim, rescuer, or persecutor. Yes.
That's an interesting one. I like that, actually.
That is true.
Yeah.
And Deb agrees with that one. That's
Mm,
true, barefoot. Yes, yes.
yeah. Good way
Is
of
he
looking at it.
Is he
He's a
really
cake. I think he's a bloody fruit cake. I mean, I've just seen the message
a
there
fruit
that
one? Yeah.
it's been removed, but yeah, I'm slightly concerned for that one.
Yes. There we go. Um, there is no truth movement. It is more of a lost group. It leads you down so many rabbit holes. Alice in Wonderland style. Yes, Paul. Yes. Yeah. Because I question. I mean, look at the magazines that are around. I won't mention them, but there's a magazine that you read, and you can also see a program which is very good. But you get manic depression. Watch it, depression. Oh no, things are really bad at the moment. It's terrible. Oh, it's awful. Yeah, it's ideological subversion. We need to cheer things up. To fight the battle, we need to be happy. We've got to laugh and laugh and laugh and keep laughing at them because they're funny.
Can I put something else in there as well? Because I get it. Yeah, humor's important, and it is, because
Yeah.
if you lose your motivation, you've already lost the battle. But the other thing is purpose as well. People seem to have I'm not about. I know I talk about unification of purposes in a movement, but I also think that individual purpose is important. A lot of people now, they're going around aimless. They don't know what they stand for anymore. And I'm not
Hmm.
on about morals and principles. I'm on about, where's people's drive gone? Where's their motivation to do stuff? And to take pride in it's gone. It's really, really lacking these days. It's
Hmm.
so dismal sometimes
But
looking at it.
there's no enthusiasm. You look at films
Right.
from the 60s. There was, and I'm old enough, just about old enough to remember, when everything was optimistic. Yeah, it's going to get better. And Mama Cass sung a tune. It's getting better. It's getting better.
Interesting. Yeah.
And you look at all the films. You look at the amount of comedy that was around the late 60s, early 70s. You look at the amount of people cracking jokes. I mean, when I was young, when I was at school, me and my mate wanted to be script writers, and we started writing comedy scripts. And I can't remember if we sent them off to the BBC or not. I think we might have done, but didn't get any response anyway. I can't remember. It's a long time ago, and
But again, that's sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you
yeah,
there.
no,
But
that's okay.
it I would even say that was part of social engineering. If you think about it, if you really want to get somebody demoralized, right, the best way to do that is to really hype them up and then drop them. I mean, like,
Yeah,
pull the rug from under it, right? And that's going to be more effective than just a slow, gradual. Do you know what I mean? If you really build them up,
that's right.
get their spirits high, and all of a sudden you've got this. You've got something that's so bad and so unbearable, and bang, it's going to hit them like a sting train. Well, not freight train at this point, but
Yeah,
so I would say that a lot of that comedy stuff that we've seen prior to the over the line censorship that we've got now, I think that's all part of the plan. Not the
I
cute
agree
value
with
of that.
you.
No.
And also things like I did a show once called "What's Happened to Cool." There's no such thing as cool anymore. Hi,
No
I
such
mean
thing as
cool. Now, by cool is COOL.
right.
Look at Steve McQueen in the film Bullet. He was cool. He was in his
Yeah,
Ford Mustang V8 engine. I've
yeah.
always wanted to drive one of those. And there's certain things that were cool. I'll give you a perfect example. Simple things. Bicycles. I walked into Evans the other day, the bicycle shop. Very few bicycles had dropped handlebars.
Sorry.
Now, dropped handlebars, they look good. They look fast. I like drop handlebars, and they're practical reason because when it's a windy day, you put your head down. But to me, a bicycle isn't a bicycle unless you've got drop handlebars. But I don't like straight across handlebars. But that was cool when I was a kid at school. If you had a bike with drop handlebars, you were cool. That was it. I wasn't allowed to have a bike because my parents thought the roads were a bit too unsafe for bikes, so I didn't have one.
Bloody hell! Right, okay. I used to. I think the last bike I had was a racer. I don't even know if they still do them, because
Yeah,
you're on about the handlebars that
yeah.
I used to have a racer. It was massive. It used to take me ages to get on a bugger.
Oh
So
yeah, but but there's something cool about them. Cars. Now you look at the cars. A Ford Mustang. I mean, that looked cool, didn't it? E-Type Jag. Wow. Porsche.
You're going back a bit. I don't know. See where cars are concerned. You probably disagree with me because I like McLarens and Ferraris.
Yeah, they're all right. Oh, yeah, they're cool. They are really cool.
Yeah. So's the price to go with them. To be fair,
I won't mind. Mind you can get a fake Ferrari, can't you? A kit car. And seriously, you can. I think it's run on a mini minor engine. You know, no, serious. But really, I mean, I worked with a bloke who had a Trans Am, and he got it shipped over from Canada because he worked in Canada. He's a contract bloke, and this thing, it could actually feel the floor vibrating underneath you. And I think that's V16 more than a V8. I mean, you can always hear the petrol being sucked up. It's accelerated with it.
And, you've said a naughty word now.
Yes.
Petrol, naughty word.
But you can't. With the electric car, it's like. I mean, it separates the men from the boys, doesn't it? Really, I really do think so. I mean, again, I just look at the heroes that kids have got to look up to now. I mean, when I was a kid, it was Steve McQueen. It was who else was the sort of John Wayne, Big John Wayne, you know, and that was the proper men. Now, who have you got?
Well, actually, I've got to pull you up on this one. You and Paul, His Royal Hanorak, you were having a go at my childhood hero yesterday.
Who's that?
I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh,
I'm going to get a lot of
small
flack for that, aren't I? Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm disappointed. I mean, but to be fair, I mean, you know,
I'll be back.
I'm not doing my Arnie impression here.
You like old Arnie, do you?
On that one.
Yeah. Well, trouble is, he's like Michael Caine. He's a one trick pony. You know, sort of Michael Caine doing an American accent. Hello, I'm Michael Caine, and here's Michael Caine doing a Welsh accent. Hello, I'm Michael Caine. You know, it's just the same.
You know, the best, here's one for you then. The best film that Arnie ever did, it didn't seem to do very well. That was True Lies, and it was he actually was quite impressive in there with his acting. He almost sounded like a different character. Anyway, let's move on. That was a childhood thing. I've moved on. Yeah, I mean, you know, what does he say? Screw your freedoms, Arnie. You've lost a fan, mate. No, sort of.
Now, somebody's being very patronising to you here. Barefoot Conjure, no Nathan, managed an entire 10 minutes without insulting us. That's not bad, is it? It was too good to last. That was
a new record to set, that one. You know.
Now, what's this one?
Come on, what else have we got? Oh, God.
Also, I don't believe that water was bad. Imagine how many springs. Aqueducts. No, definitely the magic mushrooms, I think. Yes. You only know what you are taught, which means you know very little, as you have listened to others and not yourself. Well, let's face it, most of the information we got is second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth hand, doesn't it?
But isn't the trick to listen to others and yourself and then be able to discern what's right from wrong and what's good from bad? So that's there's a bit of everything in there. So.
Right, so we got here, the world changes so fast now, some of us find it hard to keep up, especially when we know they lie. I know, I mean, news goes so quickly. I mean, wasn't it sad to hear about the Titanic sinking? Sorry.
I mean, to be fair, let's go back to that one a sec. You've lost it, haven't you?
Oh, hang on. Where is it? What one was that? World changes.
That one. The world changes so fast. Yeah. I mean, this is something that now it seems to be like every day is completely different to the previous day, and it is a bit difficult keeping up with some of the stuff that's going on. I mean, they've completely changed society at all levels. It's you know, it's disconcerting. So yeah. No, we're not doing buses. We're definitely not doing bloody buses. Don't encourage him. Don't encourage him. If he has to use a shit transport up here, he'd soon renounce his anorak. status.
Thing is why do people? What gets me is the Green Party and people like that trying to push public transport. But for years, our grandparents and their parents before them had to use public transport. My parents did as well. And then my dad got a car. And you could go where you want, when you want. And as soon as I was old enough to drive, I couldn't wait to get into a car. And personal transport is excellent. Why do you want to sit in a metal box full of smelly, flatulent people? I don't want to.
Don't get me started, because honestly, I hate public transport, and the dumbest shit that I've ever pulled is not learning to drive. But I'm going to remedy that because I've had enough, and I'm going to go for petrol if it's still available while I'm there. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
and why not go for an electric bike first of all?
No, that's lazy. That is pure laziness.
What about a racing bike? Electric. No, I haven't got an electric one, but what about a racing bike? Yeah.
Do they still do them?
Yeah, of course they do. But you know what happened to me? My neighbour gave me his bike. It's got drop handlebars. It's really nice, he is. And this was all several years back, you see. And because with a racing bike, its tyres are only about ½ inch wide, thick. And the saddle's a bit like a razor blade, sort of, So I decided to be a bit cool. It's a nice summer's day, they got the cool glasses, dark glasses. Shoved them on. Hi, ladies, I'm getting on a racing bike, you know what I mean? And then stood up on the saddle, and pumped iron on the pedals, went round the corner. And the woman, she's moved away now, please say. She went, hello. And I went, hello. And fell arse over tit off the bike.
That's not surprising.
So every time I try to be a bit of flash, I fall arse over tit. So I thought, well, no, I won't bother in future. So there it was. It's the first time I used a bleeding bike, but I thought, have the cool glasses. Because you don't just put the cool sunglasses on like that. There's sort of, hi, cool.
Well, you deserve to fall off the bloody bike for trying to
I did, yeah. But
to answer this one, the comment on screen, yes, it's available on Kindle.
Kindle, Nathan?
It's there. So
I can't remember what it was called. It was called
you can do
Fake
it,
Awake.
That's the one.
See, about that thick. See, it's very good, very good.
Well,
we contribute with a very famous person contributed in it, so it's all right there.
Got a few famous people contributed to that one.
Yes, yes.
Bob, Roger. No. Anyway, there's a few. There's segments from Mark Devlin, John Hamer, yourself, Steve James, another regular of ours, and awesome dude. Shannon Rowan, and who the hell else have I got in there? Ben Emlyn Jones. He's given me a good a questionnaire for that as well. So I like
Steve's done a hell of a lot in there, hasn't he? He's written several pages. Yeah. He's a good writer. I tell you something. He's got a hidden talent. He's a very good writer. And shall I be honest? You are an excellent writer, actually, and so is Steve.
Thank you. Well, when he provided me the questionnaire, I was that impressed with it. I sat there and I read it, and I'm just thinking, oh shit, I've been outdone. I'm thinking, right, I've been outdone in my own book, and so I thought, right, well, I'm going to credit him for this. So I got back in touch with him. I said, mate, your questionnaire responses are that brilliant. I said, you've given me that much detail. I said, would you write me a chapter for it as well? And he kindly agreed. And the chapter that he's done, as well as the questionnaire, I mean, if people want to support Steve as well, go and have a look at his it's in Fake Awake. But he's got a lot to add in there. And I mean, there's so much to put in. But he is a very good writer. He's an all-round he's a good guy. He's a badass as well. So that sounds a bit contradictory, but Steve's awesome. So
let's put it this way: he knows how to look after himself. And what I like about Steve is one of the most modest, tough guys you could ever wish to meet. And most true tough guys are very, very modest. Very modest. He puts himself down in many ways.
I'll expand on that as well. I offered him royalties for it, and he turned it down. He said no.
Really?
So yeah. He turned it for the chapter that he did, the exclusive chapter, because it's quite lengthy.
That's a really kind that is decent, and I think because he's been there soon and got the T-shirt. He
Yeah,
I mean, he speaks from the heart. There's very few people that speak
does.
from the heart, and yeah, good man.
I'll tell you as well. Well, you can't watch it now because it's on BitChute. We're not allowed to watch BitChute in the UK because we're naughty children.
I'll
But if
tell
you
the
put a
government,
VPN
yeah,
on, I know. But
yeah.
he's got a channel on there, and if you want to see him his presentations, it's Six Blade. Maybe there's something attached to that. I can't remember. But anyway, if you
I
look for
didn't know that. I'll
yeah,
look at it. I'll join it.
there's three on there. There's three. I've done a couple of podcasts with him in the past as well, but obviously BitChute, and so they've been removed as well. Well, theoretically.
No, they're still
But
there, but you just got to do it on a
yeah,
VPN. That's all. You know, and
yeah.
I'll
Well,
go to the government as I'm doing it.
When Steve does his presentations, he's fucking inspiring. Really,
Yeah,
really inspiring. So
yeah.
there you go.
That's
So
right. I'll
I
tell
owe
you
him
something.
promoting me
In
book
a
off me. So,
in a war situation, you want someone like him leading you in, and he
yeah.
would. He'd inspire. He knows how
To
to
be
do it.
fair, though, I mean, I kind of agree with his position. Why the hell should he put his his head above the parapet when nobody will stand behind him? You know, why should he lead if there's nobody to?
I
Yeah,
agree. I
he
tell you
said it
something.
that way.
On last Sunday's show, it's a pity he was away because that would have been right up his street. You know, that was about
Yeah, the war
veterans,
one
war
yesterday.
veterans. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was. I'll be straight with you. I put some extracts from because I did a lot of interviews with my dad before he died, and I was really biting my lip because I had to edit it and take sort of just have like 3 minute bits of what he said because you can't have an hour or so on there. And hearing my dad again, it was a bit of a tearjerker, I can tell you. But this Sunday, we're going to, as I say, we've got a show coming on called The War Justification Industry, hoping to get a German lady on.
2 minutes.
She'll be on the show, hopefully. Paul English will be on there, and also my late father. A lot of what he said. You'll hear some recordings of him, but they're only going to be about short extracts, about 3 or 4 minutes long. That's all. But what he said about 17 years ago is as relevant today as it was then. A very wise man he was, and some of the things he came out with, and his observations, and what he reveals as well. No wonder his book, the publishers wouldn't touch it. No little wonder.
Can't imagine why.
Yes,
A little too close to the bone, perhaps. But
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
On Saturday, I took a wood panel to the cinema. I took the same wood panel to the supermarket and out for a drive. It seems I take offence to everything.
Hey B, can you ban him as well? Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
There is a book in every library.
Huh?
If you seek, you will find. If you follow, you
will be
be a lead. Yes, will be led. And do you know something? I'm one of very few people. I mean, I got something for my neighbour in Argos the other day, and I wrote it down on a piece of paper because I ordered it in advance. And a woman said, "My word, using a note because I have a little notepad with me everywhere I go and I make notes." I said, "Still, you use a notepad?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I don't use a smartphone." I said, "You realise I've got no batteries? Don't have to worry about Wi-Fi. There it is, written on the piece of paper. Simple, isn't it?" So,
Well, I mean, if you try and use my smartphone, I mean, you'd be waiting 5 minutes just for it to fucking turn on. It's. I mean, I guess punching it quite frequently doesn't help, but
it gets it. I'll tell you
it's so
something.
slow.
I don't get royalties from them, but most people go for Samsungs and things like that. I went for a Nokia, and I can't fault it. I really like Nokia, and all right, it's a bit old. Well, there it is. It's actually on charge at the moment. There it is, and it works.
Take it back a bit because that's a Nokia.
Nokia, yeah.
Interesting. Well,
And you get I got this in Argos, and it's bloody good. I've had it how many years now? I've forgotten. John Hamer advised me to come off of having a landline. It's the best thing I've ever done.
all
It
right.
must be at least 4 or 5 years old. It's lovely. It is. Now, Barefoot Foreigner says His room looks like a serial killer's library. It's funny you should say that. Blood red so that the splatter doesn't show.
You've got to get rid of the evidence somehow. Why not paint the walls with it? I mean, it's,
now, what's this?
Actually, wait for it. Well, I'm going to give you a tour of the room in a minute, right? So I've done something with my room that people say, "Oh God, that sounds horrible." So it's contrasted.
Oh, I don't know. I don't pretty.
So you see that?
Yeah.
That's kind of like the it's red and blue. So there's
good,
I like the contrast there. So
yeah, that's all right, isn't it? Mind you, I've got cream behind me, and I did have a blue sheet. And someone years ago said, "Oh, that looks like the Ukrainian flag." So he took that down. Now, CD key resellers are good.
Yeah, I've looked on there for it. They don't do it. It's just games at the minute on there. And honestly, I'm done with computer games. They're so fucking shit these days anyway. So yeah, that's. But I have looked on there.
I don't use Microsoft anymore, nor do I. Because of that reason, I use Google Docs.
Yeah,
Yandex is good.
I've tried the different versions of Office. I've been LibreOffice or something as well. They're not very reliable, and if I'm putting books together and presentations, I need something that's going to be robust and that I can count on it's doing its job. So I know people's hung up with Microsoft, and believe me, I absolutely agree with you. But I've found. I'm sticking with it to write my books. I mean, it's
I got
necessary.
Microsoft. I got Microsoft Office. It was quite legit. Paid it was about 20 quid. It was on a stick. It arrived. Had instructions on it. You plugged it up the computer's jacksy, and off it went. It's as simple as that. Yeah, and that's it. I was all paid, So they'll be the boys will be round, police will be round first thing in the morning. Not too early, mates, because got to be breakfast first. Now Parliament has got, this is Hatchy. It's got like Ken Dodd and the Diddy Men. They're living in Notty Ash. Spot on there, mate. Spot on. Yeah,
that's all over the head.
Well, it is. It is like the Diddy Men of Notty Ash. We are the Diddy Men.
I don't know what that is. So I'm showing my.
Ken Dodd. Yeah, Ken Dodd. He had the Diddy Men from Notty Ash. That's it.
Right. I remember Ken Dodd. He was always a freaky, lovely bloke. Yeah. We'll just leave it at that. So
now it says here plenty of free comparative open software. There is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Again, I've used it. I couldn't get away with it. So.
WordPerfect used to be good before Microsoft took them to court, and they were bloody good. WordPerfect, and it was WordPerfect. But now because time is underneath Chris. My channel is the same as my name here.
Right.
B. Channel Deborah Singleton, aka B. That's it. Now that's it, right? That's it. That's good. Now we got here. What are we now? Oh, bless you, Paul. Take the like button. There's someone coming here for a spanking. I know this. Aunt Sally, how dare you? Hi, folks. Sorry I'm late. My word. But see you in Miles this Wednesday, and we'll give you a jolly good spanking for this. Got home. And here I am. Yes, note from parents, please.
I mean, you bring it on yourself, Aunt Sally. You do it to yourself. I mean, the punishment is required.
Now, thanks, Deb. Come on, folks. 9 likes and 35 watching. Oh, that's very
technically
cool.
I'm not watching. I'm just kind of doing the lazy thing. I'm in the studio, so I'll give it a like when I'm done. So there you go.
The northeast is so far away. Well, if I get my finger out and I get what I want to get, you see, I'm planning getting a van, a small one that looks like a builder's van, and using it as a mobile home. I'll still keep my own home, obviously, but I'm using it as, you see, camping is all right, but the trouble is you've got to go to a campsite. So I'm thinking of using it as a stealth camper van. So I'll go away
Stealth
for a
camper
couple of
van.
days.
You have to paint
Stealth
it
camper
black,
van.
so it's
No, it looks like a builder's van. That's the secret. And it's not going to be a big transit van. It's going to be a small one. But I'll use it for weekends away and a couple of days away. And I can put my fold-up bike in there so I can go for a cycle. And I'll be able to get up to Truth Seekers in the North East, then, won't I?
yeah, if they're still doing the event, if they're still doing it.
Sure. What about a passport, though? Do I need a passport to go to the North East?
Well, Newcastle's pretty much the last remaining English city, if I can say that without offending the censors.
Yes.
It's an interesting place. So
yes. And must try harder. I think this is to Aunt Sally, isn't it? Yeah.
it should always go harder.
Yes. What's a parasite?
Oops. Parasite? That's not very nice, Paul. Calling me a parasite? Unbelievable.
Ticks and leeches. Oh, I think he's talking about, I know what he's talking about, the MPs, the bleeding parasites, aren't they?
Ah, okay, we'll forgive him.
Forgive him. And you're going to hold back that picture of the 261 bus with the full frontal engine, pictures. The porno bus pictures. The current fear factor seems to be linked to air travel, given the number of deliberate crashes this year. Yes. And do you remember that film, was it Snakes on Planes? Because people were frightened to go by air, and frightened of the snakes. They put them together. I think the one, what was it? The frightening one was the Black Mamba. Do you remember that one? Where a black mamba that escapes in the air conditioner of this house, and it makes its appearance. It was with Suzanne George, years old it is. It was on YouTube, I think it is. Yeah. But that black mamba is the most poisonous snake in the world. If you get bitten by that, that's it. You're gone. And that's in India. Oh, dear. But
isn't that, I might be wrong on this one, Uma Thurman's character in Kill Bill was Black Mamba, wasn't it? I think.
Was it?
I think. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've watched it. But anyway.
I'll be straight
with you. Product placement. You saw that, everyone. Product placement.
Product placement. Yes, here it comes.
It's not a cologne. Oh, that's a good idea. I could do a cologne next. Anyway.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, yes. I've actually thinking of doing one called Channel. Not Chanel, Channel.
Yeah. Channel.
And I'm going to call it Alone. Yes. Do you want people to keep away from you? Use Alone for that delicate smell of the canal.
I like the idea of spraying to display, basically stay away from me kind of scent. It's like that could work.
Yes, yeah, sort of. Actually, I was thinking of doing a sort of a lovely fragrance for dogs called crutch smell for dogs, because dogs like especially sniffing people's crutches. So why can't they have some sort of crutch smell? That'd be an ecstasy, wouldn't they? Yes, get crutch smell for dogs. Spray it on the back of your hand and let them sniff it.
I'm not even commenting on that one. What we got next?
Right. Doesn't Nathan Lucius normally call them elites?
He does, but his troll corrects him quite often on calling them the elites, and sometimes he likes to listen to what his troll has to say. So
yes.
So at the minute they're just evil. There we go.
Yes, I've just realised you're on Rumble, Chris. Yes. Let's face it, we'll make mistakes. So, no, we haven't made a mistake. We just clashes the time. But people can either watch mine on catch up or yours on catch up. It's a choice. That's it.
Yeah. But until I remove that one next, but there you go.
Yeah. Or I could go an hour early or an hour later or something like that. Who knows? I blocked her now. Total drama. Yeah, thanks, Deb. Yeah. It's worth kicking him out. That was the Brillo pad,
Yeah. It was a very interesting character, that one.
I think. I think it's more bone damage than muscular. Oh, this is regarding your leg. Kicking the bloody heavy blanket off the bed in my sleep. It's easing slightly now. What's good for bones? I'm just trying to think.
What? Well, calcium for one thing. Boron,
Calcium.
apparently that's good for bones, bone structure,
Um,
and arthritis and stuff like that.
magnesium.
Um, yeah,
Magnesium. Yes, that's it.
rest. Yeah.
Rest. Yes. And I was thinking of a hot water bottle because I've got a feeling it sounds to me like I have been barefoot, not been able to do much else. Walking around is painful. I bet it is. Mind you, have you tried looking on YouTube for something similar? Because I had this heel spur problem and it was bloody painful. And I was hobbling around like anything. And then I looked up YouTube and there's a sports, what do you call it? A sports, what do you call it? Specialist does sports injuries. And he told me exactly what the problem was. I massaged it and it went. So, you know, it's pretty good YouTube for that.
I'm being told off here.
Poor you, Debs. Daisy is bruising. Comfrey is nip bone. Planting for inflammation. Yes, planting. You'll find that in your garden. So, comfrey is nip bone. Yeah. What you do, you chew the part of the planting, and then it's a bit disgusting, and then you put it on your where it hurts, and that's supposed to draw the pain out. So that's thank you, hun. That's nice. Our world keeps changing so much it makes me doubt anything invented was not here before. I agree with you. People don't know who they are or what they are. I mean, do you get the feeling that you've been here before? I do.
That's an interesting one. That's for another show. That's for another one. Actually, this came up in conversation yesterday about the world changing so fast, and the fact that they're trying to remove older generations, and I think the part of the reason for that is beyond a certain age, they want that demographic gone, so that all the youngsters coming into the world are more likely to accept whatever they're given without fight, challenge, because they won't know any they won't know any different. So it's quite sad when you look at it like that, but they're very effective at what they're doing as well. Right. So yeah.
Well, it's also, I mean, for example, look at places like Russia. Now, I watch someone who lives in Russia, English bloke, lives in Russia, and he said, good thing about it is when you eat the food, it's pure. There's no chemicals in it. It's real good food. And that's something to think about, isn't it?
Interesting. It's been a while since we've had uncontaminated food, isn't it? So.
Well, that's right. I mean, look what's in the supermarket now. Now, Deb says nobody is cool anymore because half the blokes are dressing as women. Yeah.
Half the blokes think they are women. It's slightly more concerning. So.
Well, it's a bit like when I first started driving. My dad said, "Oh, don't get an automatic. That's feminine. You get a manual car with a manual. Men drive manual cars." Now I've got a smart car now with a tectonic gearbox. My dad would probably take me to one side and say, "You all right, son? Semi-automatic, what's going on?" Now, Sam Smith, Eddie Izzard. Sorry, Susan. Susan now apparently. I can't stand Eddie Izzard. I actually think he's got screw loose. I really do.
Well, I was going to say that isn't that. No, I'm not going to say that because I'll probably get into trouble for it, actually. But no, move on before we get into trouble.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Be straight with it. People like Julian Cleary, he's a skillful comedian. Because
never liked him either.
I didn't like it, but he said children could come to his shows, and what he says is clean. It's all double meaning. And that is the skill of comedy.
Oh, it's quite clever.
Double meaning, yeah. Now, Eric, good evening. Hello, Robert.
Hello, Robert.
Nathan looks like a conspiracy Jesus. Hi, Jesus.
Hello.
What was that Dire Straits tune? Two men say they're Jesus. One of them must be wrong. Do you remember that line? At the moment, what we used to call racers are now called road bikes. Yes, it's
Oh,
calmed it down, hasn't it?
uh,
Road bikes. It's road
road
bike.
bikes doesn't have the same kick really,
It's
does it?
well between you and I. This may sound a bit sort of hype, but I think racing bikes and ordinary bikes, it separates the men from the boys, doesn't it? Because when you first get on a racing bike, bloody hell, because if you're used to sort of wider tyres, as I was,
Yeah.
you get on a racing bike, you're balancing on about half inch of tyre, and that's about it. And as I say, a razor blade saddle goes, ah!
Yeah, it is quite scary the first time you jump on one. If you used to have like a BMX and a mountain bike and stuff like that, and you jump on a race, it's like, oh shit, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
but well, my one, I got, was it six bikes? A neighbour said to me, "You've only got one arse. How comes you got six bikes?" She said, "What do you want? Six bikes, two cars?" I mean, yeah, but it's. I don't know what it's something to do. I always believe in having backup, but I mean, it's only 5.5 bikes because I've got a fold-up bike. It's a bit.
Well, it still beats buses, doesn't it?
Well, actually, I can beat the bus. I'm not showing. Well, I'm showing off. To get to the local town, it takes 15 minutes roughly by car. Depending on whether I had spinach in the morning or not, it's about 20 to 25 minutes by push bike. It's 40 minutes by bus. 40 minutes. So I can beat the bus to it. And of course,
Yeah.
my push bike is
Sorry.
fully air conditioned.
Well, yeah, compared to the stifling buses. No, let's detour from that shit. Anyway,
Now we got here. We still don't know how bicycles stay up. That's cool. Yeah, it's
magic.
still a mystery. They don't know. They know how it's done. Oh, hang on a minute. This was it. Come on, Deb. Where are you? Come on, Deb. What's happened? It's frozen.
Uh-oh.
Oh, here are Lamborghini. Oh, there's something about Italian car, Lamborghini. Some. Have you
And
ever
Italian ice
seen?
cream.
Have you ever seen? I love Italian coffee. Yeah, Italian ice
Hmm.
cream. The beginning of the Italian Job, the film, where the bloke's
Yeah.
driving around the was it Italian Alps. That's cool, isn't it? In that racing car, he's driving on with a cigarette
Yeah.
on. Well, I've never smoked, but you know what I mean. That's a cool racing car. Now, Barefoot Foreigner, momentum keeps disciples upright.
I disagree.
Yes.
It's magic. It's pure. It's pure.
Ah, yes. Here we go. Rob Mitchum, Gregory Peck, Tony Curtis, to name a few coolies. Yes. And
Feel,
I used to go to a printing firm to get some things printed, and there's a bloke there called Tony Curtis. And the reason he's called because his surname was Curtis, and his mum called him Tony because she fancied Tony Curtis. So his name was Tony Curtis. And when Tony Curtis died, I said, oh, "I'm sorry to hear you snuffed it. You did pretty well. They dug you up this morning, you know." But yeah, Robert Mitchum. Yeah, he was sort of.
I don't know. I don't. I've heard of Gregory Peck, Tony Curtis, Robert Mitchum. Never heard of. I haven't got a clue. So
Yes, Robert Mitchum. He was in a very famous film. It was quite a good film where during World War Two he lands on an island. He's a castaway on an island, and there's a nun on there already. And it was quite a good film. Was it called Good Heavens Above, Mr. Something? I think it's called. I can't remember the name of the film. Anyway, oh, hang on. And Robert's come along with a few more. Lee Marvin. Oh, yes, Lee Marvin, you know. I was born under a wandering star. Paul Newman. Sidney Poitier. Now, Sidney Poitier, he made smooth even more smooth, didn't he? Cool even more. All exponents of cool. And what about who's that bloke who sang? Oh, what's his name The Sydney Port. I'll think of it in a minute. Please hit the like button and share the video. Thank you. Oh, thanks, Deb. That's very kind of you. Nat King Cole. Now, he had what you call a smooth, perfect voice. Absolutely incredible. Have you heard Nat King Cole at all, Nathan?
I thought, yeah. Well, he was a singer, wasn't he?
Well, there's singers and there's bloody brilliant singers. He was a brilliant singer. Part of their agenda seems to be to weaken men, stop men being men, and they are doing the same to make men seem to be dangerous to women and divide us. And they're making women look men. Have you noticed that? Short haircuts and all that sort of stuff. I mean, women are women, men are men. I actually, I've got a lot of respect for women. And I expect the same respect back from women to men. Because there's things that men can do that women can. I mean, man can't give birth, no. And that was bullshit, which they can say they can. I'll probably get the police around tomorrow to arrest me for saying that. But the thing is, a man can't be a woman and a woman can't be a man. All right, they can surgically do it.
You've just had yourself kicked off YouTube for that one. Uh-oh, he's joking, parody.
There's only two sexes, male and female.
Well, it was nice knowing you, chat.
Yes, and could you please raise some money, please, for my bail for getting me out of prison? Thank you very much.
Yeah, you've just hit about half a dozen checkpoints on the New World Order.
That's right.
That one.
That's right. Shall we do buses next?
No, no.
No. And then we got barefoot for buses are brilliant. Oh, yes. Morning, Stick. Stick in New Zealand. Hey, hello, Stick. Hey, that's good. So it's nice to see you nice.
Actually, can I go back? You don't need to put it up on screen. You know this whole, right, I think one of the first shows I did with you was about the whole manosphere red pill thing, right?
Yeah.
And then we contrasted that with feminism. And I've got 2 sections in my book about this. So I've gone into quite a bit of detail with it. The reason that they're doing this, what they're doing is they're inverting the sexes, right? So they're making the women masculine and horrible, and they're not in touch with their feminine side. They're doing it equally with the male side of things. So they're making all the men effeminate, and the whole idea of this is that they want us in a Brave New World kind of scenario, right? Where they've destroyed the family unit. This procreation doesn't exist anymore except in hatcheries and things like this. Look, this whole woke movement. I'm sorry if I hope I don't get us kicked off the tube for saying any of this, right? The whole point of this is to, one, divide and conquer as again. I mean, if you divide and conquer the sexes against each other, that's an absolute victory, right? And so we've got to be very cautious of this. But a lot of it is chemical based, right? So they're putting additives in the water, and they're indoctrinating people through the media, to accept all this crap. And it is crap, and it's absolutely as anti-natural as you can get. But there's, I mean, the whole manosphere red pill movement, and don't get me wrong, I agree with a lot of it. However, the problem that people forget, especially the men, is that this was triggered. This is a counter movement to feminism, and so now this whole red pill movement is now basically making women out to be evil incarnate. Well, then you're playing into their trap. This is all to divide us from one another, and to again destroy the family unit, destroy nuclear families and stuff like that, right? So and it's working. It's working because both sides are feeding into it, and they're bouncing off each other and attacking each other. It's like, no, stop it. See that you're both being played here. We've got to stop this. And they need this. This is absolutely essential for their future plan. So I know that's not what the show's about, but it's quite an interesting one.
I agree with you. You see, the thing is, what gets me is they always try to put you into groups. Now, every one of us is a one-off. We're all unique. We've all got different fingerprints.
Yeah.
We all have different life experiences. We're all one-offs. That's it. Yeah. That's what makes the world go round. But what they do, they say, you're this community. Now, I can't... have you noticed that they're always using the word community? But it's misused word community. because a community should occur naturally. It's a natural sort of thing. Instead of that, the communist idea is the government tells you what community you should be in, like housing estates.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's got to be this. You're a part of that community. You're this community. So bleeding what? And this is what they're doing. And then they show the extremes of that community and this community. So to make you think, oh, crumbs, you know. Like, for example, they say the gay community. And then they show you gay pride movement. Now, I worked with a girl who was a lesbian. We got on very well. I fancied her, actually. I didn't realise she was. But
that must have been frustrating.
No, but she was a nice girl. We became really good friends, and she hated this. And I know there's another person who detests this, because what they're doing, they're showing you the extremes, the small, probably 0.01% of them, and it's disgusting, you know. And that's it. And then they're showing you. Black people, sleeving cars, 0.001% of them. You know, they're showing you the bad things and speeding it up, and showing it as if everybody's like that. Notting Hill Carnival, there used to be a very decent thing. People, when it first started, people used to go along to the Notting Hill Carnival and take their children, and it's perfectly safe. What do they show? Twerking. Now that is a very, very, very small percentage of people. And I know that most people, and I think I could speak for Robert, is disgusted by it. And I'm disgusted by it. We're all disgusted. And that's what they're doing. They're drawing us apart. But we're not looking at who the enemy is.
Right.
Whilst we're looking at who is the enemy. One word. Psychopath. Not all psychopaths.
I was going to say not necessarily. I mean, I get that. I mean, we've had this discussion as well. But I mean, look at what they're doing. They're taking non-issues, and then they're pitting the extremes against each other. I mean, they're literally taking things to the extremes. They're creating a dialectic, which is always basically one versus the other, and then we rip ourselves apart so that they don't have to. You know, I mean, we're doing it for them. And it's ridiculous, but of course, you know, they own the media, and so they own the minds of the people. And so while they've got that kind of control, we've got a real struggle ahead of us, because you've got to knock people out of that mindset. That
precisely, you're right. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut across you there. But
no,
no. But I saw a video on YouTube, and it was taken down pretty quick, and I found I was quite choked watching it. And it was in South Africa. I hope I'm not going to get booted off for saying this, but if you don't see me next week, you know the reason why. And there was Zulus, who are quite educated, the Afrikaans, white Afrikaans, and there's another tribe who I can't remember the name of, but they were always enemies, this Zulus and this other. And what they were doing, they're going along the street, the Zulus have got all their traditional gear on, and they go boom, boom, beating their shields, and the police are going, shit. They're backing off. And then suddenly the Zulus stopped, and then the Afrikaans came forward with their horses and four-wheel drive cars, bang, shooting their rifles in the air. And must have say, we've had enough of this shit. We really have had enough of this, and we're getting together to show you we had enough of this shit. And it was well choreographed, and they're moving forward, and then suddenly the Afrikaans move back, and this other tribe move forward, and they start boom, boom, boom. And you look on the police force's face, they were shitting themselves. But you knew there wasn't going to be any trouble because it was so well coordinated. But what they're telling the government, they're sending the government a big message, and that is, we've had enough of the shit.
Yep.
That's it. And we can see through it, and we know what's going on. So whether it was these isolated groups there, I don't know. But you could tell that the three of them had got together and worked something out between them, and that's a good sign. And I was pleased to see it. It's you know, and I think this is what they're scared of. That's why they're trying to divide us. And I think
that's
maybe
what they are terrified of. Yeah.
maybe these boats that are coming over, you can't blame the people coming in on those boats. If somebody offered you, you're in a poverty-stricken nation, they offered you a ticket to somewhere super rich, you'd bloody take it. Yes.
Well, super rich. I mean, is that really accurate though for the UK these days? But
well,
I don't
it
know.
isn't. But that's the impression they're given, isn't it? Because to them, they've got nothing. So really, I think it was Paul said that if they did away with usury, think of all the wealth that the Rothschilds have got that could be pumped into building up the third world. So it'd be a place to be. It'd be a place to want to be.
Yeah, but you'd still have to get rid of the Rothschilds, though, wouldn't you? In order for that to be. I mean, it's not like they're just going to give up all their wealth just because usury's gone. Do you know what I mean? It's but in regards to what you're saying,
they would be arrested. They would be arrested because they are running the scam. They'd be arrested for it.
So many to add to that list. But here's the thing that you just mentioned another crucial point. Now, look, we're all human. It doesn't matter, yeah, we all get accused of being, ists and phobes and all the rest of it that goes with it. Yeah, we're sick of hearing it. It's not true, but we get accused of it anyway. Yeah. But the one thing that people do need to remember is it doesn't matter what you look like on the outside, you're still a human, right? So that's one family collective of human. And if you'd stop turning on each other and realize that actually it's just external appearances in a lot of cases, they've got no power at that point. Because
You're right.
Yeah,
but you look at the wars. World War One. Germany against Britain. I mean, poor souls. Crazy. Both sides. How they were. The hell those men went through. World War Two. The hell those men went through. Vietnam War. Now you look what happened there. It culled a whole youth, and mainly poor, of America. Who the hell gives a shit about Vietnam now? Seriously, who gives a shit about it? Nobody. Korean War. Who gives a shit about Korea now?
Yeah.
It's awful to say that, but it's true. Yeah. That's very kind. Thanks, Robert. Quite right, Deb. 18 likes is pitiful. Yes. That's very kind. It's much appreciated. 35 watching and only 18 likes. Come on, folks. Oh,
if only you had a decent propaganda minister. Oh, wait, that's my job. Shit.
That's your propaganda minister. Well, actually, do you realise we got half hour over the time normally, and I really enjoyed this. It's the quickest couple of hours there's been, isn't there? Hang on. I'm sorry I've had to jump a few here. Please don't take offence. Paul, I love you dearly, but you can't do buses on every podcast. Please leave us one. Please leave us one. Just one. We're
going to have a word with the YouTube censors to see if we can get the word bus removed from all future podcasts. How about that?
I really have issues with using public transport. Even set myself challenges when using buses such as Poole to Birmingham and Telford to Kendal by bus. Bus and train are great for spreading truth and also diseases. No, only joking, because I don't believe in GERM theory. Sorry, yes, that's right. Yes, and
well, I'm not bloody commenting on that.
But I'll tell you what is a good app, and Paul told me about this, bustimes.org. Have you heard of it?
Well, it's a bit redundant, really, mate, because they never run on time. So what's the point in finding out what time they're running?
No, you look at it and it tells you where the bus is. You see a map and you see where the bus is, and it goes, and it's updated every few seconds or something. So,
right.
So you know whether it's worth standing at a bus stop or not, because you think, bleeding bus is miles away, I'm not going to bother with this one, and sod off. So you can go and have a cup of tea or something. That's it. Now, Mylene says, love Survival Steve and his morals or values. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. You
got it all from me. No, I'm joking.
And as another, we can give him a plug. He was away teaching a survival weekend.
Yeah.
Worth the time and money. Amazing food. What's that?
Crack.
Crack?
Yeah, it's like a laugh. Crack.
Yeah, laugh.
Like Irish. Yeah.
Oh, I think knowledge, people, but a lot of fireside drinking. You'd hate it, Eric. Well, I drink water. It's all right, you know. Well, the only trouble is, all I have to do is just give me half a Guinness and I'll be pissed out my brain. So.
You say Arthur Guinness. It sounds like Arthur Guinness. And now you're doing the product
half a
placement
Guinness
thing again.
Well, just a little bit over half a Guinness and I'll be...
Half an Arthur.
Yes. Yeah, it's just... If you like shade... If that light shade was red... You could almost be Tommy Cooper, Nathan.
You're just jealous. You're just jealous of my awesome room. That's what it is. It's yeah. No further comment required.
Now it says here, I wrote my books using Google Docs. Found it to be brilliant. Your books. Oh, we got to promote your books, Deb, haven't we? We haven't promoted her books. Bloody hell!
I didn't even know she'd written books. Oops.
Yes.
Should I have known that? Should I have known that?
Yes. What's this? Eric letting the women's control him. Another simpling nonsense. I won't remember. Okay. Getting
the women's. I think he's Eric letting the women's control him.
Letting the women control me.
I won't remember. Well, I mean, context. You know, we need to.
Yes. Hang on, we got here. Office
I know what it's on about. I used
alternative.
it and it just kept crashing all the time, so I couldn't get away with it at all.
Yes. What's this?
So somebody's asked me here how old I am, or they've called me Nathan. I'll have to pull you up on that one.
Where is it?
I'm going to say guess. We should have a giveaway for this. If you can guess correctly, you'll win absolutely nothing at all except for a nice little well done sticker.
That's an idea. Or what's coming soon? Damn it, gone medical. Have you really?
Yeah, I didn't get that when he put it up. Anyway.
I chose bloody Sundays because no one was doing anything on that diet. Sorry, Deb. Now, there it is. It says, my mate gave me a heavy furry blanket. I forgot when I kicked it off in my sleep. Got up the following morning and could hardly walk. Took me a couple of days to realise what I'd done. I think I know. I think it is a muscle, Deb. I don't think it is the bones. What you've done, as you kicked it, your muscle is sideways. And because I had this problem, I've been for a couple of rides on my bike this year, but this is a good one. That's a good one. Castor oil is good for pain. Get it in all in the Barrett. Yeah. So that's an idea, yes. But no, I went for a ride on my bike on Friday. I went to Waltham Abbey and back, which is a fair ride from me. And it's the first long run I've done on my bike. The racer, of course. Sorry to have the smug look here. And soppy sod, I kept it in to a higher gear because I got stopped at the level crossing. I always get stopped when the bleeding level crossing. I was sitting there. I left it in higher gear and I went boom with my right leg, went ah. And when I got home, my neighbour wanted me to fix an aerial booster on the back of her telly. So I said, all right, I'll come and do it. So it's a bloody great television. I was laying on the back of her television and suddenly got this, I think it was more cramp than anything else. Bloody painful though, you know.
Yeah, cramp is bloody painful.
Yes,
yeah.
And did you know they say you should rub the opposite side to where the pain is and it go quicker?
Yeah, you're supposed to flex in that was a direction, aren't you? But yeah. We need to put an extra channel together for you and Paul, I think, because then you can yap on about bicycles and you can yap on about buses and you can have like wacky races and stuff to
That's right, yes. Well, I've got to leave out a lot here because we're coming to the end of the show. Hard to find a manual car here. Ooh, how effeminate. Manual car? Yeah.
Do Just looking at the comments there, I was only winding you up about the misspelling of my name. Like, I've got no room to talk. My spelling's absolutely atrocious, and you can ask certain people on the chat. I'm sure they will correct
Sorry about
me.
the misspelling, mate. That's it. Yeah. Well,
yeah, my spelling's crap.
Thank you very much, everybody, for coming on the show tonight. Really enjoyed it. And tomorrow night, I might be going to the Red Lion in Stanstead Abbots. There's someone talking there. What's he talking about? Hang on, let's have a look. I've lost it. It's gone.
Good advert. Well done. That's almost as good as mine.
Yes, this is the best advert of the lot. I'll find it in a minute. Just bear with me. Where the bleed now have I put it? It's all gone blank. Where are we? Here it is. Here it is. No, still haven't found it.
Chris has haven't taken. We believe in you, Chris.
Next week, same time. I've got it. It's called. It's the Red Line in Stanstead Abbots. It's a chap called Alan of Salisbury will be sharing his knowledge on universal law and collective consciousness. A fascinating presentation. So, if any of you go to the the Red Lion in Stanstead Abbots, and it starts at I'm not sure what time. It doesn't say here what time it starts. Oh, that's funny. It's either 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. I'll have to find out. If you ask me nicely, and grovel, you might get a few fuck bobs.
Steady.
So there you go.
You know,
but
you've got
a bit of grovelling, you know. A bit of, you can get off your knees, you know, after kissing my shoes, you know, that type of thing, you know. But anyway, next Thursday, I'll probably be a guest on Paul English's show, Paul English Live on Rumble. And next Sunday, it's a special, and it's the war justification industry with a guest that's not normally on the show, and a German lady, but she speaks fluent English, so it will be in English. And we're going to be talking about the lies that people have been told throughout the ages to get them to fight in wars, and how what people were told to fear during World War II has happened. So that's going to be quite something. You think about it. All the propaganda they told you to fear if we lost the war has happened. Almost everything. So, you know. So there we go. All I've got to do is find the outro.
It's there somewhere.
How did you? I'll be chilling on television station. Where the bleed now have I put it? Sorry, Deb. Here it is. Here it is. I got it.
Just with the big red X in the corner. Just
big X in the corner. Anyway, stay on, Nathan. Thanks very much for joining us tonight. Have you anything more to say to the audience? We've gone well over time.
Yeah, the audience is crap as always, and I suppose the host is terrible, and YouTube is the most wonderful platform in history that we should all worship. There you go. That should just about level it out a bit.
Yes, and isn't Bill Gates marvellous? Grovel. And YouTube is... Oh, it's they're stopping us seeing all nasty things. Isn't it good?
That's right. They're doing it for our benefit, and so we must thank them for that, so that we don't get kicked off next week's show or something like that.
Nothing against community standards, whatever standards they are.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever happens, have a bloody good laugh. And
cheers, guys.
Good night.